ALR. We're here tonight for silver for the Monaco Grand Prix. Apologies about that very unprofessional intro there, as I realised I had my mic on my head, so that wasn't good, was it? But where else would it be, I hear you ask that? It should be on my head, shouldn't it, really? Anyway, let's go through the track layout, shall we, before we get into the session, good and proper. The Monte Carlo Grand Prix has been on the calendar in every single season of ALR, and it's been on the calendar of every single F1 season, apart from 1954 and at 2020, of course, after the of course, the horrific coronavirus and all that kind of stuff, really. But it's great to. I think it's going to be on the calendar again, though, this season, isn't it, really? So that's absolutely great stuff indeed. I love Monaco, and I think it's not. It doesn't feel right not on a Monaco Grand Prix, in my opinion. But there we go. That's just my humble opinion. Last season, Silver Grand Prix was absolutely mega for one. Marshmello, he got his one and only Grand Prix victory in his ALR career, and he dominated, didn't he? And he potentially started off Haas's incredible domination of last season, the mid part of the season. Anyway, Marshmello got the full triple crown, pole position, fastest lap, and the race win as well. Magnificent stuff indeed there from Marshmello. Let's see if anyone is going to be following suit here tonight. That record is actually held by Marshmello for 1:11.353. So we'll see if that one gets broken tonight. Verstappen has the lap record in the actual world of Formula 1, which is a 1:14.260 then. So we are slightly quicker than the actual world of Formula 1. Interesting stuff then, isn't it? 19 turns around this circuit, 2.0 miles. I think in terms of the track length, this is probably the shortest track on the calendar, if I'm not very much mistaken. There is 39 laps around here as well, so it's a grueling test for driver and machine, isn't it? Let's go through the drivers and the constructors standing, shall we? And it is Gamer who is leading, but they are 9 points in front of Troy at the moment. The battle at the top is fantastic. It's 3 apiece. It's 3 Grand Prix wins for Gamer, 3 Grand Prix wins for Troy. It's a magnificent, incredible start to the season for both those drivers. Magnificent. The bronze world champion, or the former bronze world champion, Potato, is 64 points behind the leader at the moment. Goodness me, that is a lot of points already at this stage of the proceedings. Jay Wilson had a magnificent start to the season. Remember, he was really good in the second half of the season last season, so I'm really looking forward to see what Wilson can do come the end of the season as well. I think he might be once again one of my picks for driver of the season. Fantastic. Steve, unfortunately, had a bit of a messy Spanish Grand Prix. Had a great qualifying, but didn't go well for him in the race. He's dropped down one position. Serious Mushroom had a very quiet Spanish Grand Prix. It must be said. Let's see if he can get back on the top on the podium here again today. He has dropped down 2 positions. Curly Red Moon at 2 positions. He is back on form. I think that was the best race since his Australian performance. Maldonado dropping down to 1 position as well, but Maldonado is pretty good on these street circuits, isn't she? Nigel is up 4 positions in the Ferrari. Sean Hammers is currently 10th at the moment and completing the top 10 then. FIFA Beef dropping down 3 positions as well. Goodness me, chatty bunch in the old comment section. I'll have a look at that in just a jiffy. In the constructor standings, it looks like this. Mercedes are leading 7 points in front of Renault, who is second. We got Red Bull, who is 43 points behind Renault, 50 points behind Mercedes. McLaren have gone up a position there now in 4th position. Ferrari dropping down to 5th. Alfa Romeo have unveiled the new car today, and I've got to say, I quite like it, in 6th position. Williams dropping down to 7th. And Haas, of course, the defending Constructors World Champions, is all the way down in 8th at the moment, 110 points back. Remember, though, this is the first time they won a race this time last season, so anything can happen still. AlphaTauri a point behind the defending Constructors Champions, and Racing Point are yet to get off the mark at the moment then. So Racing Point now is still having the worst start in ALR history in terms of a Constructors at the moment, and so can they switch that around as well? And hopefully it can, and I think that this is a good place to do it for Racing Point with Diashi, and of course we've got David Tom, who we're going to talk about in just a minute as well. But before we do, let's go through the joint constructors as well. This is the standings as of the end of Spain. I didn't update them last night because I'm a bit lazy. But this is how it was after the Spanish Grand Prix. Renault leading by a massive 87 points in from Mercedes in second. McLaren are currently third at the moment, and they're 121 points back. Alfa Romeo 4th, Red Bull 5th, AlphaTauri in 6th, Racing Point at 7th. Ferrari have gone from last to 8th position. Good performance last time out for the Ferrari team. Haas in 9th, and Williams are currently at bottom of the pile in 10th position as well then. As the drivers are now just coming out onto the circuit as well. As this is Cirrus Mushroom's 49th Grand Prix start tonight. Congratulations to Cirrus Mushroom. He is one away from the Big 50. And I'm wondering then if I think it's Azerbaijan, isn't it? The Big 50 next time if Cirrus Mushroom does not miss a race. And he hasn't missed a race thus far, has he? In all his silver career, of course. That is how many races we're going to have in silver. Actually, we're going to hit the 50 mark of silver Grand Prix in the Azerbaijan Grand Prix in a week's time. So great stuff indeed. Gordo is not a good start to qualifying by the looks of that. Then he's invalidated straight from the get-go. So we're going to go with his teammate Billet then, who is taken over from F1 2019 and who has stepped back, unfortunately, which is a shame really, because F1 2019 has got some he, of course, has got some time, but unfortunately he's decided to call it a day. So on board Billet then, who's made a step up and a very late step up as well to the Haas team last time out. So of course he might have a little more practice under his belt and lovely helmet as well then to really christen his debut or his second race then with the Haas team as well. Of course he's got the Hungarian flag colours on his helmet as well. Lovely stuff indeed. Then he bursts into the sunshine and we go into the Nouvelle Chicane then. So we've got a couple of debutants out here tonight. We've got Lando, who's in the racing point then. Of course I apologise if I've said your name completely wrong now. Of course give me a slap across the face if that's the case. Wilson is not a debutant, but you may see some eager eyes there who have he's changed his name, hasn't he? He's now 01, isn't he? So let's see if he can be number one tonight. We've also got ALR Vintage, who is also in tonight and making his debut. And of course we've got Camera Racer, who's driving for the first time at this season in silver, and I think it's the first time he's driven in silver in his career as well. So good stuff indeed there for Camera Racer. Of course he is a bronze competitor, wasn't he, most of last season. So we'll be interested to see what he can do here tonight as well. Wilson is still fast at the moment. Ayrton is gone third fastest. Of course, remember Ayrton's namesake, Ayrton Senna, was absolutely amazing around here. He had 6 Grand Prix wins, didn't he? Possibly could have and should have had 7, really. Remember, in 1988, he absolutely dominated the competition, didn't he? But unfortunately, he went off at Portier, didn't he? Because I think that he really wanted to destroy Alan Prost. That was Alan Prost's words, if I'm not very much mistaken. That and unfortunately pushed the car too hard and went off there. And that probably wasn't one of his best days, but he did have 6 Grand Prix wins here, didn't he? And the last of which was in 1993, wasn't it? Which is unfortunate. The last time he actually raced around here as well, Ayrton Senna did. Of course, unfortunately, he was tragically taken away from us far too early in the San Marino Grand Prix 94. Troy has gone fastest. Sean Hammers has gone second fast moment. Curly has moved himself up into 4th position moment, and the cars are going past me thick and fast right from the offset here. Smithy is in a solid 7th position, and then what about New Potato then? New Potato's gone fast. He's the first driver into the 9s and straight from the get-go, the former bronze champion. He's only won 1 race in silver. I say only because it's a very difficult league to win in at the best of times anyway. Oh, Cirrus Mushroom, they're taking a clout to the barrier there. Unfortunately, he's damaged the car. He's done a Verstappen's been in the wall around there a couple of times then, hasn't he, in his career? Gordo has gone 6th fast at the moment, 2 tenths per second in front of his teammate Billet at the moment now. And Billet has been practicing. I've been keeping a sneaky eye down. Here comes Lando, then coming over the line. He is 9th fastest on his debut for the Racing Point team. Then there's a lot of pressure on this man's shoulders tonight. Then with Racing Point yet to get off the mark, so pressure is very much on the Racing Point drivers there to get themselves sorted and get some points on the board. Then here is the first ever world champion of ALR, and that is Nigel. Of course, Nigel won this race in the 2nd season, I think it was, after a mishap between Knowlesy and Emerson. Then a Camera Racer then in his first race in ALR this season. He is 11th fast mode in the Williams there. So let's see what he can do there. Now it's just a banker at the moment. Then Nigel is currently in the pits. Then no, he isn't. He's in the tunnel, I should say. In the comment section, we have got Welsh Maldonado, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 5th, 7th, 8th, 9th. I think she missed 6 there. Ayrton's gone 10th as well. Then good stuff indeed there. Dylan Clark, evening. Good evening, Dylan. Theo, hello. Hello, Theo. Gordo, hello. Good evening, Gordo. We've got Ayrton, hello, Sean. Good evening, Ayrton. I hope you're having a lovely day then. As all of you who've wished me a lovely day today, I hope you're all having a good day as well. Nigel currently 4th fast at the moment in the Ferrari. Of course, Ferrari have very much on the front foot now, aren't they? They have a debutante in terms of vintage tonight, and as FIFA Beefy is not driving here tonight, and Welsh Maldonado into the Nouvelle chicane. Goodness me, how close was she to the Armco there? Very close indeed is the answer. And going through to the back there, a lot of commitment. Lovely stuff indeed then. And Maldonado has asked for 2 extra points there for getting oh, she's into the Armco there. I don't think she wanted the 2 extra points for going into the Armco barrier there, because I don't think it's points for hitting the walls, unfortunately. But if that was the case, then I've got to say I'll be I'll be top of the timesheets there, top of the points score standings as well. But unfortunately, that's not the case. My Monaco experience in any category is quite appalling now, and we've seen a bit of Maldonado's front wing now in the middle of the track. Then we're watching TK. Then back end is trying to snake out there in the Mercedes. Then remember. Or you guys may have also noticed that there is no Serious Mushroom is out of qualifying. What's happened to Serious Mushroom then? Has he gone off in a big way, perhaps? I'm wondering then, because we did see him out on track, didn't we? So I'm wondering if I didn't think he had a qualifying ban. To us, I should have read the review, really, shouldn't I? So, Dad, it's not going to be out for me whatsoever. But I'm sure he was out on track. So, TK is 8 fast at the moment. So, something's gone a bit wrong there for Serious Mushroom, and that's not good at all. Vintage is out on circuit as well in the Ferrari. Let's see what he can do there. His teammate is currently in 5th fast at the moment. So we're on board. Lovely helmet, by the way, from Vintage. That's absolute. You could say that's a vintage helmet, can't you? And unfortunately, I am going to be saying all kinds of appalling puns from here until the end of the stream. Then, so that's unfortunate for everyone out there who's listening. Wilson saying good luck or gonna need it. Chaz is saying hello ALR once again, you'll need it around here. So Fia also saying good luck indeed. Then Taylor saying good evening all. Good evening pal, good evening. His Vintage is coming in the pits, and Steve is currently on track mode, and we've got Baz also out on circuit as well. Steve flying past me in the tunnel there, and goodness me, it's almost like you don't want to get too close to the bar there, because you might get sucked off there. You might get pulled out into the road there, as that just shows how incredible the air is, isn't it, around here? And that's why there's no DRS in the tunnel, is there? Because the airflow in the tunnel is Steve is invalidated this time, so we're going to stay with Baz. That's why there's no DRS in the tunnel, because the airflow, my goodness me, and somehow Baz is kept on the wall. That is commitment. I love it there. We want to see more of that, don't we? I gotta say, if I was a Baz though, I probably would have stained my trouser leg though. Oh, goodness me, and they are white overalls as well, aren't they? But he comes back in the pits now. But yeah, of course, the airflow in the tunnel is quite unusual, isn't it? Of course, it really upsets the aerodynamics. That is why there is no DRS in the tunnel as well. And I don't think you'll have DRS in there anyway, because even though that's flat out, even with DRS, you will have a big accident there, I would think anyway. Dylan is saying, I'm Lando, in case you're wondering. Of course, I wish I had been named Lando Norris, and I can call you Lando Norris tonight, Dylan, don't worry about that then. And as Theo saying, I'm here if you need anyone. Good stuff indeed, Theo. We got Serious Mushroom, good luck, or keep it on the shiny side up there. Yes, that is a very good, of course, that's very good wise words indeed, isn't it? Definitely keep it shiny side up. I wish I could do the same, but unfortunately I always fall butter side down. Into the pits comes TK. He's done a couple of laps on those soft tires, and here comes Lando Norris, and as he is in at the Portier. This is where we were talking about Ayrton Senna having a big smash there in 1988 when he was dominating the race there. Unfortunately, he didn't. Unfortunately, though, he didn't win that race that year, did he? And I think it was Alan Prost that went on to win, wasn't it? That season, that Monaco Grand Prix. It didn't affect the championship, though, did it? As Ayrton Senna won his first world title, of 3 titles in the end there for Ayrton Senna. And as Lando there just getting very close there to the barrier. Well, he got a bit more than close, didn't he? It looks like he hit the car there. Square on, luckily though, so no damage is done then. Gordo almost going into Sandoval as well. The list of names we can talk about going into the barrier in Sandoval then. Of course, the legendary drivers like Jolyon Palmer, for example. But of course, also we got Felipe Massa. I think we also had Grosjean go in there as well in one case. I think he had a lot of incidents, didn't he, in the 2013 season, I think, wasn't it, or 2014? I think it was 2013, wasn't it, where he was being told to really get his act together, because he had a nightmare weekend here in 2013, didn't Grosjean did? I think he crashed in almost every single session. I think it was practice 1, 2, 3, and also I'm sure he crashed in qualifying, and then he went to the back of Ricardo, didn't he, coming down into the New Val chicane. So a pretty appalling weekend, wasn't it, for Romain Grosjean? Felipe Massa, Hamilton's been in there as well, to be honest. And look at Gordo, too much commitment. He's invalidated his time, Gordo has, so he's going to have to go around again. I think it's probably worth to actually have a couple of laps of fuel in the car, really, so you just don't if in case you have any issues like that. Then Car Boy saying good luck, AT Troy and TEK. We've also got Vintage saying even though good luck everyone, thanks for the opportunity to race there, and we're on board with Vintage there right now as he comes into the tunnel. We've got Gordo, we've got, oh gosh, there we've got someone who's named themselves interestingly there. We'll leave that one, I think. Wilson saying he likes to be called Dylan. Good stuff indeed then. So I could call him Lando Norris, or I could call him Dylan then. I think that of course that is the racing point driver who I was going to call Lando is going to be called Dylan from now on. So good stuff indeed then. Or I could call you Lando. It's up to you then. I am very far behind all the comments, I don't know, which is standard stuff really, isn't it? I got to say, this is what I don't race to see. I'm just slow at everything, whether it's reading out comments, whether it's just trying to drive around circuits. That Vintage has done a time, then he's done a 14.5 then for Vintage in the Ferrari, and a good benchmark that is, and so he can now build upon that. Great stuff indeed. Then Diashi coming down into the Nouvelle chicane, and my favourite helmet design of the season, and of any driver as well in ALR at the moment. I love it. It's a beautiful helmet, isn't it? But unfortunately, this is not a beautiful lap there for Diashi, as he is invalidated this time. I've got to go around it once again, isn't he? Ayrton's found 2 seconds somewhere on board of Ayrton there, and of course Ayrton, I do love that helmet design from Ayrton, as he has gone back to that design where I think, didn't he wear it around the Hungarian Grand Prix? He told me. So looks like that I'm probably going to be in a bit of trouble later on tonight, ain't I? Because it just shows I do listen, I swear I do, but there's so much information that goes on in my head that sometimes I forget stuff. So it'll probably come back to me in like a bolt of lightning about 3-4 o'clock in the morning, which unfortunately for you guys, it's no help whatsoever, is it really? Because I'm not going to be commentating at 4 o'clock in the morning unless you want me to unless we want to go live at 4 o'clock in the morning just to tell you all about Ayrton's helmet. I'm sure that you'll all appreciate that, wouldn't you? Bars coming down to the Nouvelle chicane as well. There was a bit of concern about the rain, wasn't there? No rain at the moment in the session. I haven't heard any whispers of rain at all in the old comment section as well then. So just watch Diashi saying hello Sean, good evening Ashley, Bulky Fokin, this is going to be interesting. It was a great race last night, wasn't it? And there was a lot of disputes, wasn't it, going on after the race last night, but I got to say I enjoyed it. But that's because I'm a sinister man. Baz coming across the line, he's got timing. When Baz has got timing, he's done a great job. Troy has retired from the session, but he is safe and sound in the garage. Smithy Almighty has done 5 laps on those soft tyres, so he's not going to get out the best time out of those tyres. Diashi's improved to 12 faster there. Good stuff indeed there for Diashi in the racing point. Good stuff indeed. Steve is left it very late. Serious Mushroom is out of qualifying, unfortunately. Vintage, Smithy Almighty and Dylan are in major trouble as well, and Ayrton is also flirting with the drop zone as well. We're on board with Steve, who is on an outlap at the moment. Vintage there is also coming back in the pits well, so Dylan there is about to start us up in the racing point. Equals, good luck Silver. Oh no, what happened to Mushroom? Serious Mushroom saying I want to be last. Equals, hate this place, and so Serious Mushroom now unfortunately out of qualifying already, which is a big blow, isn't it? Volcano, my good old friend Vintage there. Yes, Vintage at the moment is 18th on the grid, as he's only done 1 lap time, hasn't he? So let's see if he can improve from that. But we're just watching Dylan at the moment there. We've got Sirius, as we've all got Gordo saying a person called Gordo Hater is my cousin, probably doing it for the attention. Oh, that's all right then. I was trying to avoid that name when I said it in there earlier on. So yes, so Gordo, the Gordo Hater is actually Gordo's cousin there, so I think there's a bit of banter going on between family members. I absolutely love it. So yeah, good stuff indeed there. Welcome Gordo Hater, which I'm sure you don't hate him at all, but it's a great name nonetheless. I did spot it. That's why I kind of avoided it. Dylan has gone 5/10 a second up in the second intermediate split time as well. We've also got Wilson saying all sunny all the way. Fantastic, isn't it? I think that I'll be out on the yachts later on tonight, really getting my suntan on then. Here comes Dylan across the line. Dylan Dylan is through into qualifying 2, I should say, as it stands a moment. Steve there, oh goodness me, he just knocked my nose off there. He was that close to me. And now as he comes there into the final part of the circuit as well. Look at that big TV there. I'd love to take that home with me. DRS, only one DRS zone around here. He comes up to the line, and where does Steve put himself? 10th fastest in the Red Bull. That should be safely through. Ayrton is improved. No, he's down in 17th at the moment, Ayrton is, and Ayrton's out of qualifying as he is coming out of the pits now, but unless I've desunk, I think Ayrton's not going to make it, is he? So Ayrton could be biting the dust there straight from the get-go. Bass has retired from the session. Already though, goodness gracious me then, Gordo, I hate to say, Gordo / Blair, you drive like Papa. Bro Gorilla, evening, John. Good evening, bro. I hope you're having a lovely day as well as I've just, oh goodness me. Gordo has gone into 14th fast at the moment, so he is through in the qualifying 2 at the moment, and so is the second Haas as well. So Haas have done a pretty good time here, haven't they? Just what's in vintage at the moment. So in the drop zone, this is what we're talking about at the moment. It's just a qualifying one, and who is in the drop zone? Serious Mushroom, we've got Vintage, Smithy, Ayrton, and Dylan is all out qualifying at the moment. They're just getting out of the way then, so we're on board with Vintage then. So Vintage there is just about to start up his lap now. Ayrton hasn't made it, nor is Vintage either. Then the tread there, according to my time on the left hand side, then it is done and dusted, but he's still carrying on in car 43. The final turn then, and let's see what Vintage can do then. So yep, they're carrying on then. So Vintage is going in. My clock has desunk then, so we'll leave that to be, I think. So we're going to keep an eye and see what Vintage do then as he comes up the hill then, as he touches over 165 miles an hour then, as he comes down into Casino Square, as he comes into the sun, into the shade then, before he bursts out there. Look at that then. It's incredible, isn't it? We've got a race around the Principality of Monaco. 900 a second up in the first intermediate split time as he comes through Mirabeau, going through the Lowe's hairpin then. Oh, he's in the wall there, and Vintage did say, of course, he didn't have enough turning circle on that Ferrari, did he? And of course, these F1 cars have to have a special turning rack just to get around here, don't they? And I think that, I wonder if Ferrari didn't give Vintage that opportunity, or perhaps Vintage might have misjudged that, but we're going to stay with Vintage nonetheless and see if he can get a time on the board and improve. And he was just a 10th first second up in the first split. Ayrton now is coming up to a Haas car, and it's either Billet or Gordo there, and so Vintage is down in the in the second sector. Ayrton's 4/10 of a second up. This is giving him a good lot of wetty then, isn't it? He's through the second part of the swimming pool. That's looking quite planted then into the Rascas pub or club. Now into Anthony Norton. He had to correct the car. He must have lost a bit of time now. Ayrton is out of the final turn. Is he through? No, he isn't. He's out of qualifying by the slenderest of margins there. I know. So he is down in 17th on the grid here tonight then. But as much as it's the most important qualifying of the season, I would hazard a guess that you still have to be in it to win it, don't you? I remember last night's poll said to Milan there, unfortunately didn't finish the race, did he? So it is quite important, isn't it? Qualifying, this is the most important qualifying of the season, but you still have to make it through, and it's only 50% of the job done. So out of qualifying, we have lost Dylan out of qualifying in 16th position there. We have lost Ayrton down in 17th, Smithy 18th, Vintage in 19th, Serious Mushroom down in 20th position as well. And so those are the five drivers that have taken the walk of shame then as well. As Brooke Gorilla saying, at least I can watch these guys put on a good show. Well, we had a great show last night, didn't we? And goodness me, I gotta say, I was very happy with myself because I thought I was getting fitter and not actually sweating too much when I do these commentating sessions. But goodness me, I think towards the end then I really worked up a bit of a sweat there. Oh gosh there. And of course that's one thing I do not like doing, is working up a sweat then. Ayrton goes across the line, of course he's out of qualifying already, but just on board with Ayrton, admiring his helmet then, so we're getting ready for qualifying to Bulky Volcano Vintage. Why did you leave it? Why did you oh goodness me! As we got a bit of we'll leave that to be. Full now then, as Gordo saying, am I through? My God, I need to pull my finger out then. As the Gordo said, I'm driving like my papa. As we're just now getting into qualifying too then, Troy A and New Patel then very close, aren't they? Very close indeed then. TK, who's in for the replacing Gamer tonight, and TK had a great debut, had a bit of a miserable Spanish Grand Prix, so let's see if we can have a better race tonight then. But he is replacing Gamer, so if how is that going to work out here tonight in terms of the championship? We'll talk about that in a minute. Our qualifying is Cirrus Mushroom Vintage in 19th, Smithy 18th, Ayrton 17th, and at 16th is Dylan then, as we go into qualifying 2 at the Monaco Grand Prix, which is coming up in just a jiffy as well then. As a Gordo hater is saying, nothing wrong with a good old Jim then. So we're now going through into qualifying 2 then as well, as I've got to get rid of all these notifications on my phone because I can hardly see what's going on. Jake Wilson still got the fast lap there. Great stuff indeed there from Jake Wilson. And that is a perfect segue actually to lead me on then, of course, to an announcement that was made about 7 days ago, something like that. Of course, ALR and Weekend Night Racing have, of course, have had like a partnership kind of thing, haven't they now? And you can see that there's a couple of the weekend night riders in the session here tonight as well. Great stuff indeed there. And so it's a partnership at the moment, and I think the partnership is going to absolutely thrive, isn't it? So really looking forward to that then. So it's really good stuff indeed there. Of course, Friday nights then it is weekend night. Of course, it is weekend night racing. Then on Friday it is League One and the Championship. League One is on 6:15, and the Championship is around 8 o'clock ish. Of course, tune into our YouTube channel to watch all the action and adventure then. And then of course the Premier League, the top class of weekend night racing is on Saturday night there, and of course there's a lot of boogieing on Saturday night, isn't there? So expect a lot of boogieing this coming Saturday as well, as the top flight drivers then go head to head. Keep an eye on weekend night racing's YouTube channel as well, as New Patel there is getting a very getting a bit too much, getting very boogie and going down into the Lowe's hairpin on board with Sean Hammers then, as he is just getting his tires warmed up as well, on board with Gordo, and then back on board with New Potato as well. Good stuff indeed then. Right then, is we are now getting ourselves ready and get going then. So this qualifying 2 then, there's a lot of drivers and this is out on the medium tyres, and that is almost the whole of the field, isn't it? Incredible. So the reason why that is because if you get into qualifying 3, you must start on the tyres which you set your fastest time on. New Potato has just gone into the wall. Kimi Räikkönen went to the wall there famously in 2007, I think it was there, and then unfortunately couldn't turn there. And of course, where Michael Schumacher decided to practice his parking in 2006, Räikkönen and Massa was stranded there, wasn't they, in 2007? A year later. It's very poetic, isn't it? It's similar to how when Grosjean crashed into the same place where Piquet crashed the year before in the Singapore Grand Prix, when it was all about crash skating, all that kind of jazz. And very interesting, isn't it, this world of motorsport. New Potato has damaged the end plate, but he's carried on, hasn't he, as we come down into Mirabeau now then, and the inside left right front tyre there almost is off the ground there, isn't it? It stops rotating, doesn't it, going down there, because there's a rain gully right in there, and it really helps the car turn going down there. So it's an incredible place that we do race around here. Because I think the first race around here was like 1922, was it? Something as memory serves me. I don't think I was alive back then. I might have been, but who knows really. It depends on your beliefs and all that kind of jazz, but I'm not going into that kind of stuff at the moment then. So Wilson saying, honoured to be a partner with such a great league as well, with a love heart indeed then. Great stuff. Good stuff indeed then. Yes, we are absolutely privileged to be partnered with weekend night racing, of course, and every Friday and Saturday night then, as of course I'm also hoping to get paid by Jake Wilson. Of course, my payment is in the form of Whispers at the moment. I don't know what I've got. I really love of Whisper chocolate. New Potato has come across the line there. He's done a 15.993. I don't expect that to be the quickest time, because Gordo's already gone quicker there, as he is on the medium tyres. Gordo is. Remember, if you get into the top 10, you must start on the tyres which you set your fastest time on. However, remember last night there, we had some action right at the end of the Monaco Grand Prix in gold last night, didn't we? Remember what happened to Emerson there? He had a puncture with 2 laps to go. He limped at home to finish 4th at the end of that race. It was a very, very tricky situation there, and it was very good. It was a very good play there from Emerson not to come in the pits there after he was limping out as well. But he was just caught off getting a podium there. His car boy squeezed his way past down in Rascasse, unfortunately for Emerson's point of view. But it is still some crucial points. If he came in the pits there, Emerson did, I think he would have dropped behind that incredible battle between the likes of we had Murphy, we had Liam, we had all kinds of competitors in that incredible battle. I'm expecting more of the same here tonight, but I'm hearing you ask, what is your point, Ginger? Well, I don't really have much to my point, apart from the fact that it's difficult to overtake around here. So maybe it isn't about being on the right tires at the right time, which it normally is in every other circumstance, but this is a unique track, isn't it, on the ALR calendar, and on the Formula 1 calendar as well. So you can't really... It's not about being comfortable, is it? It's sometimes just about taking what you got. Sean Hammer's there, coming out of Rascas, now into Antinote as well, as he's coming up to the line, and only one DRS zone around this circuit. As we already mentioned about the DRS zones, and Hammers goes into third position there. 3 finals of second behind Curly, who is currently snuck him into second there, unbeknownst to me, as I was waffling on. I didn't even see Curly out on track there. Shame on me. Wilson out on circuit as well. He is on. Oh, he's in the barrier there. Of course, that barrier seems to be reserved for a Red Bull, doesn't it? And unfortunately, it's Wilson who's come a cropper. Verstappen had a couple of issues there in 2016 and 2018, didn't he? And it really cost him. I think it was on the 2 occasions there in qualifying where it majorly cost him. Wilson there is not registered at the time by the looks of that. So that's a bit unfortunate there for Wilson. He probably would have abandoned his time if he knew that. Bro Griller is saying Steve to win then. Let's see, that'll be Steve's first ever Grand Prix winning ALR at the moment. Then it's 3 apiece between Troy and Gamer. Gamer not here tonight, is the championship leader, so this could be the first time of this season that Gamer is going to relinquish the lead in the World Championship. There is 9 points separates Gamer and Troy, so Troy just needs to finish, just really needs to finish at 6 and fastest lap or above, really, doesn't he? Of course, because he will take the lead in the championship, because it goes on count back in terms of race wins there, and of course that is also what happens there if we have a, if we ever have a the drivers on the same amount of points then at the end of the season, and it will go and count back with number of wins, and then it will go down like that then. So number of second positions, number of third, so on and so forth. I think, anyway. I don't think that's ever happened really in F1 history, also, I don't think. The closest F1 championship in history was Bullet there, getting very close to the bar there. He's kissing the a couple of the outside bars there into the swimming pool. The closest championship in Formula 1 history, I think, was in 1984, wasn't it? Between Niki Lauda and Alan Prost, and that's a beautiful segue, isn't it? Because it's Niki Lauda's birthday today. I think he would have been 72, Niki Lauda there, so wherever he is there, I hope he's celebrating. I hope he's celebrating there wherever he is then, and I'm sure he is probably. I'm sure that Mercedes definitely raised a glass to remember him by today, didn't they? Here comes Welsh Maldonado then coming out of the anti-nose turn as well. Where's that Welsh Maldonado? She is full fastest then in the Renault. Good stuff indeed then. What about Camera Racer then? He is the highest of the Williams cars at the moment. Camera Racer goes 8 fastest on his first drive here tonight in ALR. So gotta say, right in the deep end, isn't it? A lot of these debutants are on a very difficult. He's going on a very difficult race as well, but some of them are absolutely doing incredibly well. It's sink or swim, and a lot of them are swimming as well, and it's quite apt, really, isn't it? Considering the fact we are next to a harbour, and of course we've had a couple of drivers jump in the harbour before, haven't we? I think wasn't it Mark Webber and a Vettel did it in 2010, didn't they? Is that they were absolutely going wild with the celebrations, weren't they? Troy goes fast as and he's gone wild with the timing as well. Incredible stuff there from Troy. Almost half a second in front of Gordo, who is second moment there. I think that lap from Gordo has been very impressive there, and I think that he's really we're on board Nigel. I think that Troy is Gordo is really in front of the cat amongst the pigeons there. Nigel's gone fastest, 4 tenths of a second in front of Troy, but bearing in mind that they are on different types of tyre. There's a new potato there, is invalidated this time then, so he's going to have to go around again now, but new potato is on Baz has got an invalidated that new potato has gone from the soft to the medium tyres, but he didn't put in a bona fide lap, did he? As a hop skipping and jumping over. Great stuff indeed. And just looking down at the comments as well, we have got we've got just looking down at the comments, and great stuff indeed. Loving the banter as Bradfield has gone into full fast mode, just in front of his teammate by a tenth of a second. Good stuff indeed. Steve there coming out of Rascas now into Anti-Notes, and DRS right on the money as he comes over the grid. Hatchins over the line. He is third fastest. Steve is at the moment, and that's a very good shot there for Bro Gorilla in terms of his race winning prediction. Well, Steve is right up in the mix now, is he in third position there on board with TK TK getting very close to that barrier. Goodness me, he was very, very close indeed, wasn't he? As New Potato then has just gone to the first sector as well. He looked 5 seconds down there. I'm not sure if that's right or not. Here comes car number 2 in the Mercedes then of TK as well. We thought we might be on the car 2 on the grid in the Sakir Grand Prix, but George Russell got the nod, didn't he, over Stoffel Van Door? And goodness me, there he has really staked claim, hasn't he, for the 2022 seat in that Mercedes. TK has also staked a claim for a 4-time seat in silver as well, as he has gone third fastest. Good stuff there from the Mercedes driver. Excellent stuff as we're just watching the Ferrari driver getting wheeled back in there. 1.1 seconds up. New Potato is in the first split time. Yellow flags 3.5 seconds up in the second split time. This is much more handier hit than for the former bronze world champion and season 1 bronze world champion New Potato was there, as he accelerates out then into Anti-Nose, and let's see where he's going to put him then as well. And we're on board, and he comes over the line, and a New Potato goes second fastest. Well, great stuff indeed. Serious Mushroom is wondering how many will go on soft tyres. Carboy said, I'll be surprised if more don't go on soft tyres. I think pretty much everyone will try an easy one-stop. Track position is everything. Rise Fisher, let's go Diashi there. And yes, indeed, then Diashi at the moment is 12 fastest at the moment. And here he is, and look at that, burst into the sunshine in the racing point as well. And very unlucky, wasn't he, in the Dutch Grand Prix 2 races to go there. He was on course for some good points as well. I think he was 6th position there. He was on very old tyres, wasn't he, in the Dutch Grand Prix, and very close there to getting a major payday, wasn't it, for the racing point and for himself. Unfortunately though, he was just a couple laps short, wasn't he? And then of course the tyres are screaming hot, and he just dropped down the order, didn't he? When you spin these tyres up, it's very difficult to get him back in the right operating window, as we've got kind of a traffic jam in the pit lane, but we're going to leave him to it. But then it's on the soft tyres then, and just as Carboy and Serious Russian said then, there are a couple of drivers there coming out onto the track as well. Greg Tavia all along with us for the ride then, as we got almost 30 people watching here tonight. Goodness me, I better watch my potty mouth. Oh, his billet there has gone very wide, almost getting very wide there. Might have lost a bit of apex speed there, but he's carrying on nonetheless. They're all going into the outside to back as well, but he's 4/10 of a second up in the second intermediate split time. Great 17, hop, skip and a jump then over the second part of the swimming pool section as well, into a Rascas as well then. I know that corner mainly because I know that there's a club there. Now out to Anti-Noakes as well, and let's see what Billet can do then. He goes over the line. He's 8 fastest there, Blaze, and that's going to force the hand on some drivers out there, and perhaps going to have to go onto the soft tyres then, as we've already heard in the comment section as well. Track position is king, as Carter Boyd said then, as all the experienced drivers have already mentioned then in the chat then. Is TK is retired from the session. He is safe and sound in the pits of the Mercedes. He is the top of the Mercedes drivers at the moment, and with Sean Hammers there struggling at the moment down in 10th position. But this is a unique circuit, isn't it? And there's drivers do have a specialist, don't they, when it comes around Monaco? It's either you love it or you hate it. And I think that for example me, I really struggle around here. Then you have the likes of Nolsey, who is just absolutely an expert hand around here, isn't he? He's a magnificent, and of course he won last night's Monaco Grand Prix 3 for 3 now. You've got 3 Grand Prix, we got 3 wins for Gamer and for Troy in silver, 3 Grand Prix wins for Emerson and Knowlesy in gold, then with Pease there getting the other win as well. So it's very, very finely balanced in gold and finely balanced in silver. Anything can happen in both those championships. We got so long to go still, haven't we? But I cannot wait to see the outcome of this season. But I must wait, because of course there no man, woman or anyone like that can control time, can they? So I'm waffling on about all kinds of nonsense now, aren't I? We're just going into the T-French chicane camera race there is, and he's currently 15 fast, and he's done 11.4 to 1. There's a Mercedes in the background of Sean Hammers, who is skipping over the circuit there, so I think that Sean Hammers has made a mistake somewhere. He is still on the medium tyres, and we can tell that by the left-hand side tower. For anyone who's new and joining us here tonight, then of course on the tower on the left-hand side, it shows us what tyres and who's on what tyres. The yellow tyres is the medium tyres, of course the red is the soft tyres, and of course if you see the white tyres, those are the hard tyres. I don't expect any of the hard tyres in this qualifying session, mainly because I think I've read a rumour, actually. Well, it wasn't a rumour, someone said on the stream not too long ago about you can have the hard tyres in qualifying, can you? Which I think is absolutely ridiculous, really, isn't it? Because really, so you see some drivers doing the hard tyre strategy, don't you, in the real world of Formula 1, but yeah, maybe hopefully that could be sorted for the next game, perhaps. Things like that'll be sorted now because I think we're over the halfway distance now. I don't think there's going to be any more DLCs or patches coming. Cryptic Alley then, 14th to 2nd last time I did Monaco then. So Cryptic Alley is also a Monaco specialist as well. Camera Racers is retired from the session now, so he is out of qualified then. So yeah, Cryptic Alley from 14th to 2nd. That's a magnificent effort there. We've also got Venstra as well. Did a great race around here, if I'm not very much mistaken, in the first season of ALR. I think he was like near the back of the field, and he stormed through up into second position that day. It was a magnificent performance there from Venstra as well. And he had the all-time lap record in ALR for Monaco Gold, and I'm not sure if that was broken or not last night. Maybe I should pay more attention. So then we got 30 seconds after the session, and Wilson is currently on the outside looking in, and he needs to find a 10th of a second, well less than a 10th of a second if he wants to get through. So Cryptic Alley saying if you can force moves, you can also do well around here. So yeah, so no being shy around here in a nutshell, really, is it? So you might have to get your elbows out there, almost like being in line then for the last donut on a Friday night kind of thing. Now you've really got to be rude, haven't you, if you want to get that final jam donut? Of course, no one really wants to cuss the donuts, do they? Well, I certainly don't anyway. Wilson there coming out of Portier as well. On board then, Nigel has got the fast lap as well as our graphic down the bottom now. Just likes to stay there, really, doesn't it? But there you go. Wilson now coming into the Nouvelle chicane and accelerating away as the time has ticked down. Then it is finished. Then Camera Racer is out. Baz is out of qualifying as well. Sean Hammers has not come out, has he? He is finished for the time being. So is Bradfield and Steve and New Potato as well. Yellow flag in free because it's Welsh Maldonado, and that is not good at all. Welsh Maldonado is parted in the Ferrari of Parking Bay, and Wilson coming out of the final turn. Wilson is through into third position there. Maldonado is out of qualifying, and that is not good at all. Diaz is also out of qualifying, and that is kind of it for qualifying too then, goodness me. And that was kind of ended abruptly, didn't it? Curly is carrying on then. Is he going to he's pulled out of this, and so Curly knows then that Maldonado Diashi has abandoned their times, with Sean Hammers also not coming out either, and of course Baz also not coming out. So that is it for qualifying. Qualifying two then. Cryptic has just said then jam donuts over custard donut. I'll give you a virtual high five there, Cryptic. Great stuff indeed then. Jam donuts for the win then. Jam donuts? Jam donuts for the win. I've also got a great lap there from Wilson. It really was there. Of course there, I have said in the past that Wilson's probably Achilles heel. So Sean Hammers is out there. Maybe I was a bit too premature on my conclusion there, wasn't I? Which is nothing unusual there, is it? But Sean Hammers unfortunately out qualified. Yeah, I was just about to say to Wilson, and yes, it's I do say that his race performance is second to none in qualifying is probably his Achilles heel. Having said that, he's really proved me wrong in the Chinese Grand Prix and here tonight as well. And the Chinese Grand Prix really sticks out for me. It's an absolutely outstanding lap there from Wilson, wasn't it? Because I think he qualified fourth on the grid. Magnificent performance there from the Red Bull driver. Just watching Sean Hammers there, and he's come back into the pits then, as he is out of qualifying too, but he does get to choose on whatever tyre he wants to be on. Whether that is a advantage or not, we'll soon see, but I think it's an advantage nonetheless, as you do want to be on a fresher tyre as well. Jay Wilson, no jam or custard, just sugar, and cheers. Cryptic had to go on softs. This is the only track with Vietnam where I go on softs in at Q2, and Gordo is very happy with that performance, as he is happy to be in to qualifying free as well. Good stuff indeed, Dennis. I've just had a notification about Brighton and Crystal Palace kicking off. And great stuff indeed. Then I'm sure that everyone's going to be very eager to watch that. Anyway, but I think I'd rather watch ALR. Charles, I would rather not watch any football at the moment. To being a Liverpool fan is absolutely heartbreaking for me. Out of qualifying is Camera Racer, Welsh Maldonado. She might be kicking herself for that one. Diashi out qualifying. We've seen him abandon his lap. Sean Hammers didn't make the time, we don't think. And Baz also out qualifying as well, as we go into qualifying free then. Now then, this is it then. So they're going to be leaving it all on the table then. There it is then. It's enough, and then you don't want to finish this event and think maybe I should have been a bit quicker in qualifying, because I think that at the end of the day, that is one thing that you're definitely going to be contemplating on, is your grid position then for the Monaco Grand Prix, the most important qualifying session of the season. So we've got a bit of activity down the Mercedes garage at the moment, haven't we? So I think TK is preparing to get himself out of the garage, and there he comes in. So the mechanic there is looking at the wrong way, because don't forget we'll be coming down the pit lane now, and unless Zoe is still trying to get out, still trying to get their car back after qualifying too. Then New Potato is going to be the first driver in the queue to come out. Then that could be a crucial part of this qualifying line tonight. Remember, the garages are stacked in terms of where they finish in the actual season of Formula One, because if it was in the actual season of ALR, of course it would actually be the McLaren right down the bottom end of the garages. Of course, after they finished last with a quite a nightmarish season last season for the McLaren team, wasn't it? Unfortunately, well, I wouldn't say a nightmarish season. I think that McLaren kind of had a bit of a revolving door of driver, didn't they? And I think Baz, who was driving the McLaren last season, did an absolutely outstanding job. But he had a lot of teammates, didn't he, last season, Baz, which didn't help the McLaren driven whatsoever. That probably really did put pay to their constructors' aspirations. So it's very important now to really have a core group of drivers, isn't it, of course, in the teams on. I think this season, both in gold and silver, that's one thing that ALR does seem to have a lot of drivers they go through, don't we? But I think that this season and we've had not too many drivers come through as what we normally have at this stage, so fantastic stuff indeed. Then I think it's really putting pay to what has been an absolutely great start to the season, and so I'm all for it. I love it indeed. Then I do enjoy watching new drivers there, and today I've really watched all the debutants there and look forward to seeing what they can do in their first race there. And of course, it's the most difficult race of the season as well. It don't get any easier either, because this time next week we'll be in Baku for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix round 8 then, as another street circuit, isn't it, before we go to one of the fan favourites, isn't it? It's the Canadian Grand Prix, and that is a penalty generator, isn't it? Goodness gracious me there. I'm expecting a lot of penalties, and I'm going to have to get on my fingers, thumbs and toes there, as a New Potato there is getting very squirrely going down in to Mirabel there. Goodness gracious me there. Of course, they go around that bump, don't they? Because there's a junction there, isn't there? Of course, it's quicker to go around that bump, because you'll get beached, won't you? New Potato's invalidated this time then, so he is going to have to abandon this time, and that is crucial, isn't it? Remember, New Potato's quite a quick customer, but unfortunately he seems to only get one lap in qualifying, as he's letting Troy through in the tunnel there. That was a bit sketchy, wasn't it, to say least? That is, Troy burst into the sunshine as well, as he's come into the barrier there. I thought he was a bit acute there, and maybe he was way too acute, and unfortunately then Troy is also made a mistake as well, hasn't he? Goodness gracious me, he has been on pole position now 3 times this season. No, he hasn't. He's been on pole position twice this season, and Troy there is going to really put himself against the grain, hasn't it? What about TK then? So we might have a new pole sitter here tonight, and what a way to do it here in the Monaco Grand Prix. And he comes out of the final turn, and 3 pole sitters this season so far. TK is on pole position at 10.185 to start us off, and Troy is about to finish off us up then. But it's Steve who's on pole position there by 800ths of a second from TK in second position at the moment. And we got Gordo coming out of the final turn as well. Gordo is third fast at the moment there. What about the McLaren? Is one of the McLarens is Bradfield. Curly's also on circuit as well. Bradfield goes pole position now for the McLaren driver. Fantastic. Here's Wilson. He's invalidated his time now, so we'll keep an eye on what Wilson can do. Nigel is just starting his lap as well. So let's stay with Curly then. Into the final corner then, accelerates away then, and let's see what he can do then, and he comes over the line then, and Curly goes second fastest. It's a 1-2 there for the McLaren team, and it is 500ths of a second there between the 2 McLaren drivers. Good stuff indeed then, as I've got a really itchy ear. So great stuff then from the 2 McLaren boys, and they're very much in the sharp end of the field then. Troy is invalidated his time. He's got to come back in the pits, and what about New Potato? As he invalidated his first run as well, as he's coming through the swimming pool section as well. Now then, as he comes into Rascas once again, then accelerating away then, very much on that loud pedal, not so loud pedal anymore, and over the grid heights as well. Goodness me, New Potato's got a very skittish rear end there. He is second fastest at the moment. He's squeezed in between the 2 McLaren somehow. Oh goodness me, and it is very close indeed then. So we got McLaren abandoning his time. Wilson has also made a hash of his second time as well, but Nigel is still on it at the moment. Second part of the swimming pool, that commit commitment is fantastic. Look at him, he's hacksawing away at that wheel. He's like a lumberjack as he accelerates now. One more turn to go, then we're on board with it. Advancy notes and not going on the curb there. You get straggled on that curb, and Nigel is on for 6th position at the moment then. And on the 3rd row of the grid for car 36 then. And that is it for the first round of qualifying session. Bradfield is on pole position at the moment then. But he has them all lined up. He has a target on his McLaren rear now, hasn't he? And they are lined up with New Potato, Curly, Steve, TK, Nigel. How close is this? This is ridiculously close then. I'm having to get out my calculator because I don't even know how to fathom that out. Incredible stuff indeed then. 10-0, 10-0, 10-0. That is the top 3. And then 4th, 5th, 6th, 4th, 5th and 6th. 10-1, 10-1, 10-1. Incredible, isn't it? Less than 100 separates the top 6 at the moment. That's fantastic stuff indeed, isn't it? Oh, goodness gracious me. And this is going to get very, very interesting indeed. As now as New Potato is coming in to the pits and the band is up. TK is back out on circuit at this moment then. Now then, so we're just having we're just on a bit of a break at the moment. Gurman has gone straight in there with Curly for pole position then for the Monaco Grand Prix. Well, he's not too far away, is he? New Potato there has also got himself up there as well. Curly has never had a pole position, I don't think, in ALR Silver before, has he? So this is definitely a opportunity then for Curly, and this could be an opportunity there for Curly taking his 2nd podium there, and perhaps his 1st Grand Prix win there. But that is too far in the future, isn't it? Which is about well, we're going to find out in probably about an hour's time who's going to win the Monaco Grand Prix. But of course, we need to figure out who's going to be on pole position for the Monaco Grand Prix. TK is out quite early at this stage of proceedings, isn't he? As now then, as he is coming out of the anti-notes and he's going to start us out. Then I wonder if TK is going for free timed runs. Remember last night, someone made a very good point then, that perhaps you don't want to go for free ones because you won't have an extra set of new soft tyres, will you, for the race? And remember those soft tyres. We had a late safety car last night, and the likes of and Emerson just pushed him too far, didn't he? What, 2 laps too far, and all TK is gone into the wall at the Casino Square. I think he's going to abandon that lap as he's lost a 2nd there. Unfortunately, just turned in slightly too harsh there. On board the Renault drive now as we go into Low's hairpin. We've also got Billet out there as well at the moment. So I think we got a Mercedes driver limping back to the pits of TK's 5th fastest at the moment then. It's all about inches, isn't it, this game is? I've said it before, I'll say it again, it's going to be so close then. Serious Mushroom Potato, he's really reckons it's going to be on pole position. Potato has the most pole positions oh, Troy is invalidated this time again with 4 minutes to go, and he is going to be furious in that Renault, isn't he? Goodness me, this is a golden opportunity tonight for Troy to take the lead in the World Championship for the first time this season. With Gamer not here tonight, but it looks like that the pressure getting the better of him, perhaps, or is he, or maybe is he too relaxed and is he gone the other way? Well, we'll find out then. But he's invalidated 2 times now, hasn't he? And time is starting to slip away from Troy. Billet out of the final turn, and that's how Vancy notes then. What can Billet do? Billet's on 7th position at the moment, and he's in the 10 as well, in front of his teammate Gordo. Good stuff indeed then. So Troy is going to start us off as well, back on board with Troy then, the man who's 2nd in the World Championship. The back end is slipping out. Troy has got a very loose rear. I'm not sure if that is going to be very good in the race, is it? Oh, goodness me, you do like to have a planted rear. I certainly love my rear to be planted and not floating all over the place. So is Troy coming through the Lowe's hairpin as well. Now dropping down into Portier as well, as the track just descends quickly, doesn't it, as we go into the famous Monaco Tunnel. And of course, it's a lot brighter on the onboard cameras than it is in the real world as we come out into the sunshine. As the news development there is really robbed us of an absolutely great long shot, isn't it? Of course, I remember that shot of seeing Damon Hill blowing up. Well, not blowing up literally, but engine failure in the Monaco Grand Prix '96. Of course, Damon Hill never won the Monaco Grand Prix, did he? And of course, that season it was Olivier Panis winning his one and only Grand Prix and last Grand Prix win there for the Ligier Mugen Honda. Troy out to the final turn as well. Look at this, and here he comes, and is it pole position? It is indeed. It's a 9-8 there for Troy. 2/10 of a second in front of Bradfield. A great time there for the man who's 2nd in the World Championship. Nerves? What nerves there? He has really answered me back in fine, Vettel. Great stuff indeed there from Troy. And here's Potato, who's had a couple of gremlins on this update, so he's going to have to go around again. Nigel has not had any gremlins, but it looks like he's about to finish off his lap as well. Out of the final turn then, 2 minutes to go in this qualifying session. Nigel is 7th fast at the moment as he lost a 10th of a second there at the end of that lap. But New Potato's back out on at circuit as well. Let me try and catch up then. Wilson there. If Bradfield is top 3, you know exactly how the race is going to go. Blatant Rage. Curly's going to push on his next one then. So Curly has something in the pot then, something in the kettle, in his back pocket, doesn't he? Curly at the moment, he's currently 4th at the moment. He is back on the track now with 1 and 3/4 minutes to go then. Sam saying, evening, still surprised about my lap yesterday. Yeah, Sam had his best qualifying performance in ALR, and of course that was he's had a long layoff from ALR, and he came back and really did a stormer, didn't he, last night? Great 17. Carboy is gonna be clutch there from Troy then, and that's more like it. And we've also got Dicas as well saying, wow, it very much was wow, wasn't it? And wow indeed, because Luke Potato is 4/10 of a second up there. Oh, he's invalidated his time. The top 2 of these guys are so quick, but they're invalidating their time, isn't it? It's here or zero stuff here in Monaco, isn't it? And that's exactly how it should be. It's like Russian roulette around here, isn't it? Very much playing with the cars, isn't it? And really just how close can you go to the wall? How much are you willing to risk it all in terms of getting pole position in? And the most sought after pole position of the season as well. Wilson there is coming through. He does have time for one more lap. Does he have the lap, I should say? Does he have one more time? Does he have time for one more run? He does indeed. He's 5th fast at the moment, but does he have time for one? Well, no. Does he have enough fuel as well? I meant to say, if I get my words out. TK a 10th of a second up there. He abandoned his second run there. So TK coming up to the line. It is second fast. There is a whisker away from Troy. He's so close yet so far. Close but no cigar. Gordo coming out of Vancy notes, and he's starting his lap as well. So is Billet as well, but Billet's got to keep an eye on those mirrors, because here's Steve. He's 2/10 of a second up then. He is in the ballpark. It's so close between them. 1st and 7th. It's absolutely magnificent. 1st and 8th, I should say. But Nigel is out of qualifying. He's going to be 8th fast as well by the 2 Haas cars as well. We got Steve coming across the line. He is on the 2nd row of the grid. Well, Bradfield's on pole position. Curly's abandoned his lap, and it's the other McLaren on pole position then. And New Potato is invalid, so New Potato is in the pits, and Bradfield is on pole position then for the Monaco Grand Prix. What can Wilson do? Wilson's as light as a feather. He's on fumes, isn't he? As he comes into rest cast for the Red Bull driver, and he is now 1 corner away then out of Anthony Noakes. Then we've got the 2 Haas cars. We've got Mercedes out there still as well. Here comes Wilson. He's 3rd on the grid. Magnificent performance there from Wilson. Absolutely stunning stuff. TK there is also a whisker away then. This is in the ballpark for pole position. Is he going to steal that away from Bradfield? He comes over the line, and TK is on pole position there. A magnificent time there from TK. And only his 3rd Grand Prix in ALR Silver. He is on top, the top one, and Gordo's in 3rd position. Oh, goodness me. Gordo is up in the 3rd. This is a magnificent qualifying. They've all put as much as they can into this qualifying performance there. Steve is just behind as well. Billy is 10th fastest. What about Steve? He's 5th fastest, and all Red Bull row 3. But it is TK on his first pole position of his career in ALR. I think the first of many as well for this driver. We already said he was special in the Dutch Grand Prix. He has shown it here in the Principality. His first pole position of his career in ALR by less than a 10th of a second then from Bradfield, who is on the front row. What an incredible qualifying that was indeed then. And well, I want to lie down now, but unfortunately for me, I got a race, but fortunately for you guys, we have a race, don't we? Oh gosh, and well, I'm absolutely knackered really at the moment, but let's try and sum that up, shall we? Oh, before we do, actually, let's take a look at the comments, shall we? Nice start there from TK, from Cardboy. Jake's scared now then, the grid is so close there from German. Cardboy, what a lap for TK. Why didn't I go for it on my first lap there for Wilson? Yes, Wilson, I wonder if he was just holding back slightly, but he's 6th fastest today. Look at that grid then, it is mightily close indeed. What a qualifying performance that was this season. Great stuff indeed. TK, his first pole position of his career in ALR. Fantastic. Bradfield once again showing he's a qualifying specialist. Can he do well in the race then? Gordo in 3rd position there. He is a street specialist. Troy in 4th. Steve in 5th with Wilson 6th. New Potato 7th with Curly down in 8th, and Nigel 9th and Billet in 10th position as well. Gordo is very happy with that then, as he is on that 3rd position there. It looks like his cousin is really spurred him on tonight, and Gordo's best performance of his career in ALR qualifying, 3rd on the grid then for the Haas car. Now can he stay on that 3rd position and get his first ever podium as well? There is a lot to be there. That's only 50% of the job done now for this qualifying, for this event I should say. And here we go then. Right, I hope you're sitting all comfortably, everyone, because I certainly am now. I've had to adjust my seating position now because I got so excited I've given myself cramp in a very unusual place then. But as I quickly get stretched out then, the drivers are getting themselves ready for the race itself. And we did hear it was going to be a one stop in this race, didn't we? From one of the experts there in the chats. I would say one of the experts. You're all experts in there, really, anyway, especially compared to me. I have no earthly idea what's going on more often than not then. And especially when it comes to strategy, oh goodness me, then I think that I'll be coming in for the wet tyres really because they look nicer. Right then, is we now get ready for qualifying. We get ready for the race itself, and we've done qualifying. Let's have one more go, shall we? Because I enjoyed that qualifying session. We did say it was one of the most important of the year, and I think that's one of the best qualifying sessions of the year as well. I am absolutely shattered then. And what do you expect then? It was absolutely brilliant, wasn't it? Commitment of the highest level. Indeed, Gordo saying that he is absolutely over the moon there. GG there from Gordo from Serious Musher. Nice feeling in it, Gordo there. Sam is also saying that he had the same feeling when he got P5 last night, didn't he? As Gordo saying that was a dreadful qualifying one. I feel gave me a bit of motivation. Thanks, Mushroom. Then let's go for the grid, shall we? From front to back. Then everyone is on the medium tyres, apart from a handful of drivers. There, Serious Mushroom is on the hard tyre, down in 20th position. We have got soft tyres for Wilson, Nigel, Billet, and Baz as well. This is 39 laps around here. This is going to be a hard-fought Grand Prix. This is going to be a tense Grand Prix. It's going to be physical. It's going to be mental as well. And who has got the strength then to claim the Monaco Grand Prix crown then? Remember famously back in yesteryear, this was dubbed to be one half of the championship, didn't it, really, if you won this one? So, TK, first pole position of his career, first of many as well. This man is a special talent, isn't he? He's on pole position for the Monaco Grand Prix. Bradfield once again showing that he is absolutely amazing in the single lap stakes. And can he get it all together in the race as well? Gordo, his best qualifying performance of his career in third position then. Let's see what he can do then. He is also on the medium tires as well, so it's going to be a tense race. As Bradfield dropping back there. I hope Bradfield hasn't got any issues. Oh, TK is in the wall. Oh dear, TK, luckily there's no damage in the formation lap, but that is not good for TK, is it? We've had a lot of drivers over the years having problems in the formation lap. Prost did in the San Marino Grand Prix in the, I think it was 1989, wasn't it? Or 1990, perhaps? I think it was 1991, actually, wasn't it? Third time's a charm. And we also had Coulthard as well in the Italian Grand Prix as well. I always remember that one because that was quite a painful one. Troy A in fourth position there, fifth is Steve. Wilson, the highest soft runner in sixth position. Watch him fly. Seventh is Potato. Curly, eighth position. Nigel in ninth, and Bullet in 10th position there. Outside the top 10 is Sean Hammerson, 11th, Baz is 12th position, D. Ashy in 13th position there. Welsh Maldonado down in 14th, Camera Racer on his first start in this season in 15th there. Dylan is in 16th position, 17th position is Ayrton, 18th position is Smithy Almighty, Vintage is in 19th, Serious Mushroom is 20th on the grid, 20 cars, a lot of red X's, which isn't good, is it? As we're now getting ready for it as well. So we've all been disconnected. That's not good, is it? Because I thought that there was a lot of red X's there. Oh dear, and I've got now I've also got not enough players in the actual session as well, so that's not good, is it? As I am just loading up the session as well, so hopefully we'll get something sorted as well. Let me have a gander, see what is going on in the Ode chat then. Not a lot at the moment, is there? But there we go. So good stuff indeed then. Is I'll keep an eye out. Is Crystal Palace has scored, by the way, if anyone's interested in that. Great stuff indeed. So great stuff then. Right then, as you should have heard Bradfield on the party, nearly crying there, but he's saying everyone's been kicked. Dylan saying I got disconnected. Serious Merchant saying I got disconnected as well. As just having a look then. Serious Mushroom has been I've crashed, and also Gordon saying it's connected. Jake Wilson saying I've all been kicked out. And so Dan is just sorting it out then, so don't worry, he'll be getting himself sorted as well. So I'm just keeping an eye on the admin chat, and we'll be getting going in just a jiffy as well. I probably should turn my Wi-Fi off as well, but I don't think I've lost the stream, have I? Which I'm going to give myself a self-high five for that, because that's one thing that really gets my goat. And we've got Gordo saying my heart stopped then when I saw that it disconnected then. I got to say, I was looking at the red X there, and it wasn't looking too good, was it, really? We're just waiting for the session to get back going, and I'll keep an eye out, everyone. So whilst we're on a bit of a break then, Oh, there's panic in the silver chat there from Welsh Maldonado. Oh dear, it's not going well at all, is it? And to be honest, from my point of view, and selfishly from my point of view, it gives me a chance to have a rest, doesn't it? Because I'm already perspirating, and that's not good, is it? Because I've got another 39 laps to go in this race. I'm expecting safety cars. We are expecting a few safety cars too. I'm expecting virtual safety cars as well. These are one of the greatest drivers in the world of ALR, and also in the world of esports as well. But, and this is a big but, it's Monaco, isn't it? I've got to say, you struggle to swing anything around Monaco, let alone a Formula 1 car as well. So it is a very tough cookie to crack, isn't it? See, so I thought it was just me gone again for the 500th time this season. Luckily, though, Steve, it is, luckily it's all of us. But yeah, so I think Steve will be very happy about that, as unfortunately Steve's had some technical gremlins, hasn't he, to start his season off. But when he is on fire, or when he doesn't have any technical gremlins, he is very much a mightily quick Grand Prix driver, isn't he? Right, and this gives me a great opportunity there to talk about my memories of the Monaco Grand Prix, really, which is I hear a lot of you are groaning and moaning at me about that. As I know you've probably heard it. You've probably heard it time and time again, haven't you? But of course, I do love Monaco's in the recent year haven't been that great, have they? To be honest, it's not been the most exciting thing in the world, but. Yes, the Monaco of the history has been brilliant. Of course, 96 comes to mind straight away, doesn't it? Only 3 cars finished that race, and I do love this random stat as well, actually, because it was Coulthard who had to drive with Michael Schumacher's helmet, didn't he? Because it was had a Marlboro livery, Marlboro sponsor on it, wasn't it? So yeah, that's why I had to join. That's why I had to use Michael Schumacher's helmet. I love that stat. I do love a good stat. I also love the it only rains 12 days a year in Bahrain as well. I do enjoy that one. Of course, so yeah, 96 was a great race, wasn't it? It was absolutely action-packed. Of course, Schumacher went out on the first lap. Schumacher, who's the rain master as well, absolutely dominated in the conditions in the Spanish Grand Prix, but unfortunately in Monaco, it wasn't as wet as it was in Spain, but goodness me, he was already in the barrier before you even got into the thick of things. Damon Hill was then dominating the race, wasn't he? And then unfortunately had an engine failure in the tunnel and retired from the race. And Jean Alesi then was leading the race in the Benetton, going for his second Grand Prix win and his first Grand Prix win for the Benetton team as well. Unfortunately, he had I think he had a wheel bearing problem, didn't he, or something like that in the pits there, where they was fiddling about with the the left rear tire, weren't they, for so long? And then it was who else took the lead then? I have no idea. It's ridiculous, wasn't it? I think Panis took the lead down in the end, eventually won it. It's Coulthard who was second on the podium, with Johnny Herbert third as well. And that was his first podium there for the Sauber team, because up until that point he was the Benetton team, wasn't he? In the 95 season, where he took 2 Grand Prix wins for the Benetton team, didn't he? Fantastic stuff. And I think it was Frenzel was the final official classifier in 4th position, but I don't think he finished the race, did he? And then so it's because we had the final 3 crash out, didn't we? With Mika Sala, Mika Hakkinen, and then coming out of the Lowe's hairpin, I think, which wasn't very good, was it? But there you go. Anyway, that's a brief history of 96. Let's go on to 97, shall we? Well, 97 was a bit of a mare for the Williams team once again, wasn't it, really? As Williams in the McLaren team all started on the slick tyres on a very greasy track, which really wasn't a good idea at all, was it? And Schumacher was at his absolute best out of the season, wasn't he? Absolutely magnificent stuff. Schumacher was just walked away at the race, didn't he? He was dominating from start to finish. I think he had one slip up, didn't he, at Saint Devote, but literally just spun the car around as cool as a cucumber, and he was on his way as well. Barrichello got Stewart's first points of their career, didn't they? Because Stewart was a new team in Formula 1 back in 1997, wasn't they? Of course, they had the team of Barrichello and Jan Magnussen, of course, which is the dad of Kevin Magnussen, who was a former F1 driver as well. I can't believe I'm saying former, because of course Kevin Magnussen is now finished with F1, hasn't he, for the time being, which is a bit sad because I like Kevin Magnussen, but there you go. We now have Schumacher and Mazepin to look forward to. B, what you think about that? What may, and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, 97 was a great year, wasn't it? And of course, it was Eddie Irvine there who had a cracking drive as well into third position there. Eddie Irvine was also quite a quick customer in the wet as well on his day, wasn't he? Good stuff indeed there for the Ferrari driver. In 98, then, I think the only thing I can remember from 98 was when Wirtz was really giving Schumacher all kinds of issues, wasn't he? Alexander Wirtz. Of course, I liked Wirtz when he first stepped to F1. He was a very quick driver, wasn't he? Alexander Wirtz was very impressive young driver as well. He stood in for Gerhard Berger, didn't he? When Gerhard Berger missed 3 races, I think he had sinus issues, didn't he? Before he had sinus issues, didn't he, before his dad unfortunately passed away for Gerald Berger, and then he came back and he won the German Grand Prix. Gordo's saying, and as they're saying in the chat, remember setups, I mean, I'll forget, but hopefully no one else does. Taylor saying on a heart attack after the error, that lap was perfect for me. Don't worry about it, Taylor, we'll be back in action in just a jiffy, so do not go anywhere, folks. We'll be back in a not too distant future as well, and this gives me an opportunity there to adjust my headpiece. And we're almost ready to get going, and I see we have 21 drivers and in the lobby in the gantry then before we could before we could get going, of course. So we're just waiting to see what is occurring, and then we'll go from there. Is Terry saying I was having nightmares about quality one at Spain? Laugh out loud. Yes, because unfortunately TK, I think he got didn't you get disqualified in the Spanish Grand Prix Q1? I know that Ayrton got disqualified for parking in the pit exit, didn't he? In the Dutch Grand Prix, which is a very silly place to park, Ayrton. So I'm sure that he probably will be doing that again. So is we are now then getting ready then for the start of the Monaco Grand Prix. Yes, as TK did get, unfortunately, he got completely shafted by Codemasters, didn't he? Theo saying, yes, remember your setups then. Error resulted in a DQ, which is a bit sus, wasn't it? Quick Turk, Ali, what happened? I just got back. I think Dan forgot to put the 10p in the meter, unfortunately, so we everyone dropped out of the session. We'll be back up and running in just a not too distant future. Wilson is saying, and this is perfect, this is bottling up Bradfield's nerves, and I got to say, Bradfield is an absolutely great driver, isn't he? I don't mean this disrespectfully there for Bradfield, but he does remind me of Jarno Trulli. Absolutely fantastic in qualifying, and then in the races it just doesn't seem to go well, does it? And remember, Trulli's only ever had one Grand Prix win to his name, and when he first burst on the scene in F1 in '97 in the Minardi team, he did an absolutely magnificent debut, didn't he? Going to Prost as well, standing in the very big shoes of Olivier Panis when he broke his legs in Canada. I think Trulli did a very outstanding job, didn't he? Coming in there, because he was leading the Austrian Grand Prix, wasn't he? For most of the race, unfortunately, he had an engine failure, didn't he? Which was such a shame, wasn't it? As excuse me, oh gosh, oh dear, as Goro saying, I'm standing with my window open and my head out, trying to stay cool then. As I wish I could do that as well, but unfortunately my windows are on that child lock then, just so that I don't fall out, to be honest, because I'm not accident prone. But I think that unfortunately they don't open wide enough because I'm in a flat. We have also got Serious Mushroom. Mention it again, Ayrton, laugh out loud. Yes, Ayrton, it's not a fan of me mentioned about his disqualification in the Dutch Grand Prix, but of course there it did end up being Ayrton's special sort of the season, though, didn't it, with a fantastic 7th position there. It's Ali saying, oh, okay, then we've also got Goddard saying, just trying this to remember my setup, but remember setups as well. And we are now about to get going then for the Monaco Grand Prix. I've been saying that for a while then, but yep, we are not too far away, as Murphy is now in the spectators mode, and he is just having a quick look to make sure the grid is ready as well, as we don't want anything starting out of position, do we? As it happened to Gunnar once, but of course but I think Gunnar was being a bit naughty, that's why he was, and it was nothing to do with the admins at all. Anyway, so then, yeah, going back to the history of the Monaco Grand Prix, I think the other Monaco Grand Prix that definitely springs to mind is the 2008 one. I absolutely love that one. Of course, it's because I'm a Hamilton fanboy. I absolutely love that race where Hamilton brushed the Armco barrier to back, didn't he? But that ended up to be one of the race winning strategies, really, didn't it? Because I think he fueled up so long, didn't he? And just stayed out on the tyres there. The rain was stopping and starting, wasn't it? It was a very unusual day. It was a cracking race. I absolutely enjoyed that one. And Hamilton took the victory there. And of course, I think his most famous victory, though, is definitely the 2008 British Grand Prix. How can we forget that then? As we are now getting ready then for the start of the Monaco Grand Prix. There is the timer counting down then. I think that we are done with my little segment now. And all of you guys are probably thinking, thank goodness for that. Now then, as we are getting ready then for the start then of this going to be absolutely fantastic Grand Prix, I have no doubt about that. We had incidents, we had heated debates after the race last night. Gold, wasn't it? Of course, then when the adrenaline is still pumping in the driver's pulses, isn't it? I'm expecting the same here tonight as well. This is a very frustrating race indeed. That David Coulthard, unfortunately, also had major issues there in the 2001 Monaco Grand Prix, where he was stuck behind Enrique Benodi, wasn't he, for most of the race as well. His Theo's just gone, setups! Yes, indeed. Remember your setups, everyone. I doubt the drivers are even listening to me, to be honest, because I'm probably the worst person to have on the background when it comes to the race. But yeah, remember your setups if anyone's out there. Because I've got to say, it really ruins races with setups, doesn't it? It just shows how finely these drivers are matched, then, isn't it? Where it doesn't come down to the car, it comes down to the setup, doesn't it? And how you tweak it. And it really is, it's an intricate skill, isn't it? Remember, Niki Lauda, of course, this is birthday day, and he was brilliant with getting the car set up just to his liking, wasn't he? Fantastic, very meticulous. Same with Michael Schumacher as well, wasn't it? But Schumacher was, as Eddie Irvine famously said, then Schumacher, Irvine could drive the track every inch, while Schumacher could drive the track every millimetre, centimetre. It's absolutely fantastic, isn't it? And here we go then, as Theo saying, be ready for turn one then. Time to focus there from TK. Cryptic saying, I came back just in time for the start. It was all planned there. Indeed it was, Cryptic there, as cool as a cucumber. I know these drivers going to be cool as a cucumber as well. We still got a lovely sunny day, and the wind is not blowing at all, is it? There's a lot of hot air in me, but there's no hot air in the coast here, and the coastline, the Monaco Riviera as well then. So we're going to go for the formation that once again then, of course, as it's a whole new session, and technically the drivers that qualified in qualifying 2 on the tyres, they're going to be happy because they got a new set of tyres, haven't they, which is a bit unfortunate, but unfortunately that's just the way the cookie crumbles, isn't it? Right, let's go for the grid once again then. I'm getting a bit of deja vu here, as we had a bit of a delayed start at Cryptic has asked, how did Wilson get on in qualifying 3? He is in a fantastic 6th position, Wilson. Perhaps he has ruined his not pushing straight from the get-go. He actually did 2 laps in qualifying 3, and I think 2 laps in a row where he possibly could have and it should have gone a bit quicker in the got a bit quicker on this opening lap then. TK on pole position. That's his first pole position of his career. Bradfield is alongside him on row 1. Looking forward to that. Gordo in his best qualifying performance of his career and 3rd position then. Troye could potentially become the championship leader today for the first time in ALR Silver this season, but he's got a long way to go. But if he finishes where he starts, he will take the lead in the championship. Steve in 4th and 5th position there. Wilson is the highest runner on the soft tires in 6th position. Potato and Troye both had mistakes on their opening laps, didn't they, in 7th position there. Curly abandoned his run there. He's down in 8th position. He probably would like to have been higher up. Nigel in 9th position in the Ferrari, and 10th position is Billet in the Haas. Both on the soft tyres in row number 5. Sean Hammer's in 11th position, and well up the field actually from Billet there. Bars in 12th position on the soft tyres. We got Diash in 13th then. Can Racing Point get their first points here tonight then? This is a track that really can turn your season around. Welsh Maldonado in 14th there. 15th position is Camera Racer. 16th is Dylan there. Lovely shot from Dylan's steering wheel there. Look at all the data he's got to input there from the steering wheel. They're the quickest computer engineers here tonight. 17th is Ayrton. 18th position is Smith the Almighty. Vintage is in 19th on his debut, and it's Cirrus Mushroom is 20th as well. Ayrton and Welsh Maldonado has been disqualified. They seem to always be together on track, don't they? But unfortunately they've got a bit too close then, and they have been disqualified. Cirrus Mushroom on the hard tyres, 20th on the grid then. He is 6th in the World Championship as it stands at the moment then, as we are now getting ready for the start of the Monaco Grand Prix. I've been saying that far too long now. We need some action. We don't need me gas bagging as we get ready for the start. And car 38 then, as the Williams is in a position as well. The lights are on. 5 sets of lights to go on. Then we'll be racing in the Principality. Not quite yet though, as the revs will be building, and then we're on board with the pole sitter. And when are we going? And the green flags have gone, and then now we're racing in Monaco. It's go for the Principality and for the most famous race in the world. That is TK leads, and Gordo's forced to go and try to go through on the inside. It's wheel to wheel between Bradfield and Gordo. Is how they're going to touch there? Not quite, as Bradfield has to get out of that. Then Gordo's up in the second already. Fantastic. We got a New Potato who's up in his 7th position then, as I think he retained that position over Curly, and so then there's not many, and look at this, and it's a New Potato trying to force himself up the inside of Wilson there. He's on the outside. It's getting very precarious. Yellow flags in one then, as they're going through the Lowe's hairpin there. It is getting, there's a severe collision. There's a safety car. Someone's gone a toll wrong at the back. It's Diaz. Contact, and damage. it. And Ashley there, who looks like he went off at Mirabel there, didn't he? And unfortunately, he's damaged the car. We got a safety car right from the get-go. There's damaged wings on the Red Bull as well. Oh dear, then it's as we're on board now then with TK at the moment. Safety car is out then, and Bernd Mailander is going to be having to earn his keep here tonight. And 2 penalties then for Wilson and for and of course for Vintage. Unfortunately, Vintage on his debut there having a bit of a difficult start then. But TK staying out, of course, then. So who is going to come into the pits then? And just taking it then. Troy staying out as well. What about Steve staying out? I think Wilson's going to have to come in the pits. No, he isn't. He's staying out then. That was a very late call into the pits. Here comes New Potato, and I've got to say, New Potato is one of the most unluckiest drivers on the first lap there. He seems to be involved in a lot of first lap incidents, but he's in the pits and he's going to have to change the nose cone there, and he's going to also be changing the tyres as well. It's just an automatic function of the teams, isn't it, as the Alfa Romeo mechanics go to work then. We got 6 drivers in the pits, and Cirrus Mushroom is took it cautiously. He is in 14th position now. Now it might be a shrewd move there. Curly is on the hard tyres. Smithy is also in the pits. Well, look in the background, and off Diashi, who I think was one of the corporates for the safety car. He is just changing the front nose as well. The Ferrari Vintage there is just serving his penalty, and he's back out on circuit as well. Smithy is in 18th position now. 19th position is Diashi, with Vintage in at 20th position then. And here's the safety car then. And who are the big moves? Dylan, goodness me, he's at 5 positions. Dylan is. He's took off like a scored cat. Fantastic, isn't it? He is flown right up to 11th position then. 6th position is Cirrus Mushroom. He's also the biggest move as well. And unfortunately, Curly and New Potato, who's sharing row 4, is unfortunately near the mid to the back of the field at the moment. And as I just now on board then, so with TK, we got a safety car around under 1 lap of racing just there. It is TK leading the race then from pole position. Gordo forcing his way past Bradfield and is now up in his 2nd position. We got Bradfield down to 3rd, Troy in 4th position, Steve and Wilson in 5th and 6th. Wilson has got damage to his front wing. 7th position is Nigel. Sean Hammers in 8th position, then Billet in 9th. Baz is in 10th position as well. Dylan, incredible star on his debut in 11th position. Camera Racer on his first race in silver in 12th position. Ayrton in 13th, Cirrus Mushroom in 14th position. Now we have the pit stoppers. Potato in 15th, he's onto the medium tyres. Curly in 16th, he's on the hard tyres. Welsh Maldonado, medium tyres. Soft tyres for Smithy, for Smithy, Vintage and Diashi. Just taking a look then, I think that they was overtaken there a bit too prematurely perhaps, because the safety car is still out. No overtaken under the safety car, of course, as the safety car is just about being safe, of course, isn't it? Of course, that's the whole point of the safety car. So then, I'm hoping the safety car be in at the end of this lap. Then, as we got a racing point back in the pits as well, so I'm just itching my ear. Diashi coming into the pits and change onto the medium tyres now. So that is a strategy call there from Diashi, and that could potentially be a race altering strategy call as well for Diashi. Of course, there he's at the back of the field. They're probably the worst place to be in Monaco. It is the worst place to be in Monaco. I have no doubt about that. Then, but let's see what Diashi can do. Then there is still 39 laps in this race, isn't there? We've only done 3 of them thus far. There is a long way to go in this race, and this is more of a marathon than a sprint, isn't it? It's all about picking your spots there. It's about being calm, isn't it? It's about making sure that your head is clear. That is a very, very important indeed. Then Young Lights has just said, lights out, damn right on back. Look at those beautiful drivers at work then, putting on a great show as well. As Wilson saying it's Irish there. Irish was getting a bit elbows out there between himself and Wilson there. It was very robust, wasn't it? Between the two drivers of Wilson and New Patel there. Very, of course, he threw out the inside going down to Mirbo. Very hair and scare stuff, wasn't it? Safety car staying out, I think, for the minute then, because they're all budged up. They're just on board Diashi. And remember then that the Racing Point team then, can they get their first points of the season? That has to be the aim for the Racing Point team thus far, because at the moment they have no points at all. Into the pits comes Wilson now then. So Wilson is also serving his 5-second penalty as well. So Wilson there is extending this stint now. So this is also, maybe he just wants a couple of extra laps on these tyres. Curly is in the pits as well, and he's damaged the car again. Curly has there, so he's back on the medium tyres. Curly is there, and that's an additional stop there as well. Joe Wilson now in 19th position there. Curly is out in 20th position as well. Then safety car, they love to want to get a scoot on, because the drivers are coming up at the Casino Square now. So of course safety car be in then this up then, and we'll be back racing then. As you can see, the extended pit lane here, which I think was extended back in 2003, wasn't it? If I'm not very much mistaken, or 2004 when they had a lot of refurbishments around here, wasn't it? And made it a bit more of a racing circuit, if you can call it still, because it's still very much a very unusual track, isn't it, to be raced around the Principality of Monaco. A very dense area, isn't it? The Monaco areas, and that's why they're expanding now, aren't they? They're expanding out to the sea, really are indeed. And so in a couple of years, the Turn Portier, which is coming up next, and right next to the sea. Well, that's, well, of course, they're going to be next to the sea in a few years or so, because they're just trying to, they're extending this part of Monaco, isn't it, where it's going to go out into sea. Incredible stuff indeed. I'm not sure if anyone's really interested in the development side there, but there you go. There it is. Safety cars coming in, and lovely shot from the curb there, and TK leading the Grand Prix, and this is the first time he is leading a race, right from the get-go as well. First time it's on pole position as well. It's the first time the Gordo is in the sharp end of the field as well. There's Bernd Mailander. TK is now, let's see what he can do for the Mercedes team, and he accelerates away. We're used to seeing a Mercedes out in front this season, but it's Gamer, but tonight it is actually TK who leads us away then, and we're now then hopefully our first racing lap around there as well, as we've had there's a massive group of cars who have built. There is Alain Napoleon start there, and look what's going on here then, and it's they're all bunched up here. There's it's a very sluggish start there. They have spread out very heavily from the get-go, aren't they? Goodness me! Of course, then this race I was expecting to be, of course, is very much a field spread around here. Of course, you cannot get on the power till the car in front has then. But on board Diashimo and Vintage is just in front of us at the moment in the Ferrari, as Diash there is almost getting stuck onto the wall then, because Wilson is going up the inside there, passing Diashi, and I gotta say then that's why Diashi was staying to the left-hand side of the circuit there, which is not what you normally do, is it? And I think that he probably got caught a bit unaware there, didn't he? Which is unusual there for Diashi. Of course, Diashi, I think, is having a very difficult start to his silver career. He was so good, wasn't he, in bronze last season? But I think Diashi is, of course, they're trying out something new there with the assists this season. And at the moment, though, it's just not playing out there. Wilson has just got past Vintage as well. Vintage there is struggling to get his tyres out to temperature. He is on the soft tyres, but they are really struggling. We've got TK who set the fast lap of the race. It's our first racing lap has been completed. Just like I say that, Steve's gone quicker, and he's got a lovely bit of fresh air as well. Wilson is now past Smithy as well. Smithy dropping down the order, and Wilson is flying through the field then. So really, who says you can't overtake in Monaco? Just tell Smithy that. A fantastic couple of moves then on the opening lap. There's a Grand Prix then, so we now power up the hill as well. And look at this then, is Noob 10 is all over the back of Cirrus Mushroom. Now Cirrus Mushroom is on the hard tyre, isn't he? He's going for a very long first in. Ayrton is all over the rear end then of Camera Racer there. Look at this then, is Noob 10 is having a look on the inside of Cirrus Mushroom. This is my worst nightmare, because I seem to get these drivers' names mixed up, and when they're not even close together, well, tonight they're Lionel Stern then, and Camera Race there is becoming a bit of a bottleneck there, isn't he? Well, I haven't said that. I think it's actually Dylan who's a bit of the bottleneck at the moment now, as he is 3 seconds back behind the bars at the moment then. Oh, goodness me, he is so quick there, isn't he? Oh, he's touched the wall slightly as he damaged the car. No, he hasn't. He's on the outside, and look at this. And New Potato is absolutely flying at the moment there. Goodness me, he is really throwing caution against the wind there, isn't he? Caution to the wind rather than against the wind, because it'd be very difficult to go against the wind there, wouldn't it? Because it's not really there. And look at the back, and then Troy is up into Troy 8 up in the front position. Bradfield, he's damaged the car. Bradfield's amazing qualifying performance has come to an abrupt halt so far. He was second on the grid. He's down in full position. Steers all over him like a rash as we're going into Casino Square and dropping down then into Maribor. But Bradfield has damaged the car and right early on there as well. Curley's got past the Ashley's dropped down into last position. All 20 cars are still racing around here, but there are some cars that are already wounded and they're already limping, aren't they, in this race, and we're only doing 7 laps in this marathon as well. Of course, the jewel in the crown of Formula One as well. It's a difficult one. I'm sure the drivers there will be very happy when this one is out the way. Gordo is really putting the pressure on the race leader TK at the moment. Gordo's got a bit between his teeth, hasn't he? He is flying out there at the moment there, and of course then TK is looking like he is under pressure. Goodness me, Gordo is flying out there in the heart there. He is magnificent. He's the quickest driver on the circuit at the moment, bar none. Fantastic stuff here from Gordo. And of course we've seen him have some flash of brilliance, but at the moment he is looking an all-round good package around here at the moment. And there's Troy. Troy is at the fast side of the race, so Troy's got free air now, and he's now starting to put the Oh, goodness me, now Steve's through and up into fourth position there. And now Ferrari Nigel getting very close to the bar as well. Look there, Sean Hammers in the background in seventh position as well. And then Bradfield drummed down the order, and the damage to the front wing is causing him some major problems indeed. And now Nigel's all over the back of him as well. Curly is now back up, is now dirty position as he is starting to come through the field there. New Potato's got past Ayrton there, as Ayrton there is dropping down the order there. Let's take a look. Has Ayrton got damage? I think he has got damage. As we got Diash, he's got past Vintage as well, as he's dropping down the order slightly at the moment. He's already gone in 70 position. Goodness me, there's a lot of changes of positions here tonight, isn't there? Goodness gracious me, they're not shy, are they, as they come through the tunnel as well. And Bradfield there is just defending his position, not too extreme, is it? On board Nigel, he won this race, didn't he, back in season 2 of Gold, isn't it? Because it was just called ALR back then, wasn't it? As we only had one division there. That's expanded since then, hasn't it? But Nigel then in silver this season now. We're on board now with the first ever ALR World Champion, as he is now coming in to Rascas as well. Smithy is just dropped down 19th position as well, as Diashi has got past, and we're on the accelerator as well. Sean Hammers there is just stalking his prey at the moment, which is Nigel. Nigel's on the soft tyres, so he would like to have had a bit of clear air to be honest, wouldn't he? Because he doesn't want to be using these tyres on the as Ayrton there was very close to the back end there of New Potato. Then New Potato then was looking a bit, was struggling a bit there in the straight line speed. There we got Serious Mushroom and Welsh Maldonado is now also getting very close for comfort as well. We're on board with Maldonado is in the red there. I think that since she's changed her name, I don't think it's gone very well for Maldonado. She's been involved in a lot of incidents there. Maybe it's just a part of her namesake now, isn't it? But remember, Maldonado on his day there, he won the Grand Prix in Spain, didn't he? And Gordo's got a 3-second penalty then. Remember, penalties in, no, it's a tight track this is, but still you've got to get penalties in you around here though, because there are a couple of areas there where you can really extend track limits there, as he hops, skips and jumps over the swimming pool part 2 section as well. TK though is at the moment there, he still has the high ground, he still has the race lead then, as Gordo going very close to the anti-Nogues wall there. Troy is now coming to the back as well, and as Dylan's got a 3-second penalty in the top 10 at the moment, and he could be the first racing point driver to score a point this season in silver. Good stuff then, great stuff indeed then. Has now gone up over the crest of the hill as well, and look at this, and it's TK. Look at Gordo there, the back end is starting to really rotate on him. I don't think that's a good place, is it? Steve in the background there is 2.2 seconds, and he is gaining on these drivers as well. We're going to have a 2012 S Grand Prix. Remember then, we had 6 cars dicing for the race win, didn't we? It was Mark Webber, we had Mark Webber, we had Rosberg, we had Hamilton in there, we had the other Red Bull of Vettel, we had both Ferraris of Massa, and of course of Fernando Alonso. That's the one. How can I forget Fernando? Yeah, it was a great battle. I'm thinking it might be more of the same here tonight as well, but it might be a 4-car battle at the moment then, because Bradfield damaged the car. He has lost 6 seconds now since the damage to the front wing then, and he is dropping back. Nigel cannot get past him at the moment now, and it's becoming a bit of a traffic jam because Sean Hammers is behind him. Billet is now starting to gain as well. This is the ultimate test of concentration, isn't it? And coming across the line once again, and this is a great battle, isn't it? Look at this then. Of course, it's going to be very much for the leader then for the opening stage of this Grand Prix, and it is a part of the show here in Monaco, isn't it? Of course, the ultimate show is qualifying this and really putting the car to the edge and beyond then, which we just seen in qualifying a minute ago. Is a fantastic show for qualifying. I absolutely loved it. It was one of the best qualifying of the season for me then, and Sean Hammers has passed Nigel. Sean Hammers has passed Nigel there, and he's going up the run up the hill as well. That's a fantastic manoeuvre. I'm kicking myself for not seeing that one. Great manoeuvre there from Sean Hammers. Did Nigel make a mistake though? Possibly, probably. I would definitely say he did then, because you've got to say you have to have a helping hand there to really overtake someone and go up the hill then. But look at this then. Now we got Billet in the axe as well. There's Baz as well. Dylan is about 8 seconds back at the moment, so we've got a bit of a conga line now behind Bradfield as they are coming in to the tunnel once again. And Sean Hammers and now let's see what he can do. And this is a crucial part of the race for Sean Hammers, isn't it? Because if he gets past, then that means then that he can now get up to the back of the TK and Co, and he has a 3-second penalty as well as Troye, who has no penalties at the moment, and same with Steve as well. Into the pits there comes the race leader, and look at this, so he's in quite early on then. Troye is that he's damaged the nose cone. The man who's on pole position, he's damaged the nose cone. He's on the hard tyres, and TK TK is in, and oh goodness me, and that is why he's in early, because he's damaged the nose cone, the pole sitter into the pits, because the Ferrari as well. It's Nigel, this is a change of strategy, so he'll be out in a jiffy. There he goes then. Where is TK going to come out then? TK, Ayrton's got a 5-second parallel speed in the pit, and he's going to be kicking himself about that. And of course there, yes, now we've got TK coming out of the pits now. Where's New Patel? New Patel is in front of TK, and Serious Mushroom, who's on the hard tires, he's gone a long way to this race, and TK didn't want to be behind that Serious Mushroom, did he? And as I just come back to this front battle as well, and I don't know where to look. This is absolutely magnificent, isn't it? Great stuff indeed. Ayrton is in the pit, so is Camera Racer as well. Both drivers then are going onto the hard tyres. And is that going to be to the end of the race? And potentially, perhaps, maybe they're going to be doing a lot of twinkle toe in around here. Yellow flag in 3-2. What's going on in 2 then? And we got yellow flag said something has happened down in the hairpin. And they'll just take a look to see what is occurring. Not a lot, but it looks like, and Gordo is in the pits as well. So Gordo then is, I'm wondering what Gordo, has Gordo got damage as well? Is he going for the undercut here? Remember Gordo, and this is an unusual spot for Gordo in ALR Silver, and he's coming into the pits, and I'm wondering, he has damaged the wing as well. Gordo has, and oh goodness me, he was having a great race, but Gordo is coming to the pits and damaged the wing. I was wondering if he was coming in to maybe counter the pits of TK, but he's damaged the wing, Gordo is, so he's going to be back in the pack then, and he's going to get on in front of this queue of cars, and look at this, he has done it. That is an important moment here for Gordo. He has gone in front of Dylan and co, and look at this potato, he's going through. Dylan's got damage to the car, and look at this potato, it's going on the outside. Magnificent, absolutely splendid stuff there. Hats off to Dylan as well there for not driving into the side of him with that damaged front wing then. So great stuff there from Dylan, absolutely stupendous stuff there from New Patel. He's up into 8th position there. Now then, this is make or break then for New Patel, and Troy leads the Grand Prix. Steve in 2nd, Bradfield will limping on in 3rd position there. Sean Hammers is still behind him in 4th, Bullet in 5th with Bars in 6th. Gordo has come to pits there and is now in front of TK, so that is crucial, isn't it? That just shows how important track position is around here. Magnificent stuff indeed then. And just on board now then, and look at this, and Welshman has got a 3-second penalty. That door is always going to be closing. Murphy said Camera Racer box 4 new wing, it's gone black and white flag there. We've got Cardboy saying TK has thrown the race then, unless both him and Gordo had damage there, and Gordo had damage as well, unfortunately, so I read that comment a bit too late there, and TK is up the inside, passes Liam, and away he goes, and Baz in the pits, and look at this queue of cars, and magnificent, and so Dan is saying then that there is damage there for Camera Racer, and he had to come in the pits, and he had a black and white flag then. So now then he's coming up the hill then, look at this, and it's a Vintage has got past Smithy as well. Look at Troy, he's now, since he's in fresh air, he's in clear air, he's now starting to really spread his wings, hasn't he, Troy? He's 2.5 seconds in front of Steve, and he just shows being calm and collected around here is really helping Troy. Robbed by his teammate Maldonado, she is in 11th position at the moment. They're really pushing Serious Mushroom, who's gone from last to 10th at the moment then, and doing his best Dan Murphy impression at the moment. Fantastic stuff indeed then, as we're now coming down into Portier. Oh my goodness me, that's a McLaren, it's Bradfield, he's gone off the circuit, he's got a 3-second penalty as well, which is very harsh, because it's a double whammy there for Bradfield. Oh dear, and he's damaged the other end plate. Is he going to pit? I think he's going to have to, he's done a valiant effort there, but Bradfield might have to come in the pits, and that is a blow indeed. Sean Hammers is now in the 3rd position now, really good stuff indeed there for Sean Hammers, and Billet's in the pits, but Bradfield is staying out then. He is sticking to his strategy call, isn't he? And Gordo also back him in the 5th position. Gordo is in a very strong position here, isn't he? A very strong position indeed then. Into the pits comes Billet, and he is it's a strategical call then for the Haas team, and he's coming out now, and Haas are doing a great job then. TK is through as well. Serious Mushroom's gone through as well. Dylan now is coming to the pits and release this conga line. And look at Curly now as he is defending for all he's worth over Nigel, who is really putting the squeeze on Curly. Remember, Curly came in early and very early on this race, and after damage to his car, Diashi is now in the 12th position as well. But so he is also coming into the points then. Dylan and Wilson and Vintage is all just coming to the pits there in almost simultaneously there. On board then with Gordo at the moment, and he is doing a magnificent job, isn't he, Gordo is? And he's now caught up behind the Bradfield, who is limping on. New Patel's got a 3-second penalty as well. We've got 5 drivers with black and white flags at the moment. and just on board with Gordo. He is one of the drivers and with a 3-second penalty then, so he's really got to make hay whilst the sun is shining. 20 cars still in this race, and good stuff indeed then. He's having a look coming into Rascas. Bradfield there has come to pits, and it's all fallen into place beautifully for Gordo at the moment, isn't it? And we've got New Patel then, who is right underneath the gearbox of Gordo. Into the pits comes the McLaren. Now then, it's a yellow flag in two. That's a Williams who's off the circuit. It's Camera Racer as he has gone skating across the New Val chicane there. He has got all his pieces in the right direction, but it looks like McLaren are coming out in the pits now, and Diashi is in front of him. Well, Billet is as well, and so is Baz said. So Bradfield dropping all the way down into 14th position. He was on the front row, wasn't he? TK was also on pole position there, as it looks like the front row then it's not been a very good. It's been a bit of a poison chalice this event then for ALR, as both the front row leagues there have not had the best of races, have they? Wilson's all over the back of Dylan. Goodness, oh, he's gone into the bar there, Wilson has. He damaged the car. He's okay. Oh, gosh, I believe put on the power a bit too hard there, didn't he? And a lovely shot here is just watching Gordo, who is the star of the show. He was my star at qualifying, was him or TK. And I think that it has to go to Gordo, doesn't it really? My star at qualifying. Fantastic performance. And now he's in fourth position in the race, and he's the highest driver on the hard tyres as well. So this is really falling into place quite nicely at the moment there for Gordo. And he is the highest runner to have pitted as well, so he is going to be a thorn in the side then. Gordo's on the podium. I'm calling it if there's no damage there for the Haas driver, and hopefully that is going to be the case there for Gordo, because I think he's going to have a lot of support in the comment section, isn't he? Serious Merchant there has got a big old QB on him at the moment, hasn't he, which is in the form of Welsh Maldonado, Curly and Nigel as well. And look at these cars, and Lionel Stern as we climb up the hill, as Serious Merchant there is once again got a Congo line behind him there, and he is and it looks like that Diashi and also Billet is now starting to come into this battle as well. Oh, this is magnificent, isn't it? Oh, and I thought Nigel was going for a run now down into Mirabeau, and that was going to be a very shake and bake kind of manoeuvre, wasn't it? I think car 36 about then we're just coming up to half distance. Well, I think we're over half distance. No, we ain't. I don't know what lap we're on, even though it says it in the top left-hand corner, but there you go. I can't read. But of course, yeah, we're on lap 18 then. We're almost at half distance here at the Monaco Grand Prix. The strategy is very much wide open for the top three. It's all on the medium tyres. They have to keep an eye on Gordo, I feel, though, because Gordo is definitely within the pit window. He's within the pit window of at least Sean Hammers and maybe Steve as well, but I think Troy is probably too far out in front now for Gordo. But Gordo, as Sam said, is definitely on course for a podium here at the moment, and he's called it absolutely fantastically, hasn't he? And look at this once again then, as they are all starting to queue up once again behind Serious Mushroom. Serious Mushroom has to come in the pits, yeah. Welsh Maldonado came in the pits earlier on, same with Curly as well. Nigel is really being hurt at the moment, though, isn't he? Because he is coming in the pits lately, and look, he's on the outside and passes Curly and moves up into ninth position. Nigel is great, brave bit of driving there for Nigel. Goodness me, then you have to get up very in the morning to that to Curly. He is now up into ninth position. Nigel is Welsh Maldonado on board the side pod of the Renault driver, and she is putting pressure on the Williams driver, Serious Mushroom. And they're coming down into the low hairpin now. Then 20 cars are still left in the race then. Remember last night that they started to drop out just after the halfway mark, didn't they? When the concentration is really at their limit, wasn't it? And beyond there, it's very much a thinking driver's race, this one is, isn't it? And it looks like Troy and Steve have very much risen to the top. The same with Sean Hammers as well. And Gordo is really putting on a spurt at this stage of the race there, isn't it? We're going to have to keep him on that gap to the leader, because Gordo is starting to really put himself into play here from not only a podium position but maybe even a race win as well. We'll keep an eye on all the gaps as much as we can, and of course we still got 20 more laps to go in this Grand Prix. There is still a lot more tears, I think, to play there. Into the pits comes Potato. He's damaged the car, he's on the soft tyre, so Potato is, and let's see what he can do from there then. And look, Maldonado is having I think he's had an awful exile lance. We've also got Diashi and Billet who are also side by side as well. Diashi is in 11th position still, as Billet is in 10th then. And of course, Billet, who I don't think, I'm not sure, has he ever scored a good point in ALR before? Well, whatever the case is, and it's only a second Grand Prix for the Haas team, and he could be on the on course there. He does have a long way to go on those on those medium tyres, though, doesn't he? Same with New Potato, he's got a very long way to go on those soft tyres, hasn't he? As we're on board then with the Ferrari drivers, look how close it is going down, as Gordo's got another penalty. Those penalties could be the problem for Gordo. Unfortunately, that's 2 3-second penalties, and as we just touch the halfway stage of this Grand Prix, Nigel then is once again underneath the rear wing of Maldonado, but he's too far back. It's very difficult to overtake around here. We've got very much Fred the Eye of the Needle. That's a great exit there into the new Val chicane there. He's going to be very brave to overtake into the back there. Maldonado is all over the back though, a serious mushroom, isn't she? She is right underneath the gearbox of the Williams driver. The Williams driver probably wants to go at least another 10 laps. No, yes, and he's in the pits there, and he has come in the pits there. So Maldonado is now leading this train of cars, and she has Nigel behind her at the moment, and there it is. The pit window is open, and so where was New Potato? Was Serious Mushroom going to go on then? Well, I thought he might have stayed out a little longer, gone the soft tyres. No, but he's coming the pits and onto the medium tyres, and Mushroom has then. So Curly at the moment then is just keeping a watching brief in 8th position at the moment. Then Curly is, of course, he's done 16 laps on these medium tyres. Serious Mushroom there is still coming out the pits, and on the medium tyres he's out behind Dylan, and he's also out behind Wilson as well, who've already made their stops. So that's not a good position to be in at the moment. It's for Diashi's got a 3-second penalty. That's not a good position there at the moment for Serious Mushroom, who would have liked to have had clear air to maybe undercut the likes of Maldonado and Curly, who will be in the pits there. And talking of undercut, Steve is coming the pits and he is thrown on the hard tyres, and this could potentially be a race winning decision as Sean Hammers there, and look, he's in front of Gordo, as Gordo there is a bit too far back, but he's still on course for a podium there, but he does have a 6-second penalty, Gordo does, but it's a magnificent performance there for Gordo. His best race finish, I believe, is actually 4th, isn't it? So it'd be matching that then at the very least. I think he would like to have had a podium here tonight then. Ayrton getting past Smithfield Monte and moving up into 19th position then. So good stuff indeed then. So we're on board now then with Steed, and he needs to really put the hammer down. And talking of the hammer, there is Sean Hammers in front of us. He is definitely also trying to put the hammer down as well, because I feel that is going to get a very, very bunched up then towards the end of this race. Well, incredibly, only one safety car and absolutely spectacular stuff fed from all these silver drivers, and really good stuff indeed. Board then is look at this Diashi, and we've got Baz and we've got New Potato as well. Baz has already stopped then, so New Potato then is going to have to overtake Baz if he wants to get past the AlphaTauri driver. So that is the direct mission thus far at the moment then, as we've just seen Brighton has scored as well by Vouchman. I think it's good stuff indeed as well. But goodness me, more importantly though, it's New Potatoes past Baz. That's a magnificent performance on the outside in the tunnel. My goodness me, his spuds are big. That's incredible stuff indeed there from Diashi, from a New Potato. That is incredible. Wow. And I'm just going to have a look at that back on the stream again, because I can't believe it. Did I see that with my own eyes? So let's have a look then. It really was a magnificent maneuver there. As into the pits there comes Diashi then. So it's fallen to place now for New Potato, as he is now back in the points as well. It was a cracking maneuver there on the outside in the tunnel. Magnificent. And of course it's slippery, and getting through the tunnel the best of times is quite difficult to do. Yes, the cars do have a lot of downforce these days, but still it's a very scary and perilous thing to do, is to navigate, isn't it? They're actually coming out of the pits now. Dylan now up in the 15th position now. And look at this though. Serious Mushroom there is sneaking through. Passes Dylan up, and he's got a 3-second penalty for his call. So, and he's got past Dylan, but at the cost of a penalty as well, unfortunately then. Troy still leads then, but I think that Troy is probably looking at the fact that Steve is 21.5 seconds back at the moment, and Sean Hammers is now his rear gunner. So this is going to be potentially, look at this, Nigel's got past Welsh Maldonado. I wonder if she skated across in the new Val chicane there, because she lost, looks like got a 3-second penalty just as just as Nigel got past them, and that's a bit unfortunate for Maldonado. She's down in 7th position there. So I'm wondering if Troy's going to stay out now because you can see that Sean Hammers is holding him up then, holding up Steele, so he can just extend the stint and maybe go onto the soft tyres until the end of the race then. But you remember what happened to Emerson last night then? Going to get very interested indeed then, as you got fastest up there from Nude Potato as well, and as we're now starting to, as Sean Hammers said, it's starting to really hold up Steele at this stage of proceedings. Sean Hammers is on very old medium tyres, 22 laps on those medium tyres there, as Welshman on 21 lap of medium tyres. There's a lot of lappage out there for these tyres, isn't it? So they're going to be very tired tyres, aren't they? Martin on, oh no, Potato has got damage there, and that's a lot of damage as well for Potato. He's just at the fast of the race, and now unfortunately he's going to have to come back in the pits then, because that is a major lot of damage as well, and the work he's just done to get himself back in the top 10 has all been undone. And oh dear, and it's a very frustrating Grand Prix, isn't it? Look at Billett though. Billett's on a great race out there, isn't he? A fantastic performance there from Billett. I say this is his strongest performance in his ALR career thus far. Magnificent stuff indeed. Welshman, Nodder and Curly are getting very close for comfort there in the battle for 7th and 8th position. They're getting very going to get very hot stuff up there, isn't it? Oh goodness me, might have to get some sauce to cool that down. As Billett then is as New Potatoes in the pits then. No retirement so far. Great stuff indeed then, and a lot of drivers are having some very difficult races out there, like New Potato as well, as he is back on the soft tyre once again, and now to change that nose cone, and Cirrus Mushroom is really pushing Wilson around Rascas there, isn't it? Potato is now coming out of the pits there, but he's going to be behind this battling duo. He is indeed then, and he is now dropped down to 15th position then. And we've also got Dylan, Vintage, and also Diashi getting through as well. So New Potato is just in a very fearsome trio, having a almighty scrap there. And look, there's Troy, who's the race leader at the moment, and as he is seeing his lead getting extended, while Steve was meant to be on fresh tyres and really making a go of it here. Unfortunately, that's not going to be happening at the moment, though, is it? Because he is stuck behind Sean Hammers. This is the problem in Monaco, isn't it? Where you risk going in the pits for an undercut, and you're getting stuck behind a competitor of equal speed there, or maybe even not equal speed. A competitor there who's on older tyres, but is going for a longer stint there. Diashi there is really struggling. And now Potato, we're on board Potato. Remember, Alonso and Ralph Schumacher here in the tunnel in 2004. No problem this time, no, for Potato. He's up the inside. Passes Diashi, moves up into 17th position. Now look in the background, that is Troy, who is once again an outstanding racer. Remember what he did in Spain? He's doing exactly the same here tonight in Monaco, and he is doing a magnificent job then, I gotta say. Very cool, as you like there, isn't it, from Troy tonight? And he's almost 23 seconds up there. Look at how close these guys are getting there. And I'm wondering if Troy's going to come in the pits this time around. No, isn't he? He's staying out there. And look at Vintage there. Vintage there is trying to break the slipstream, I think, but I think New Potato's just got the pace, hasn't he? He's up the inside into Sandoval. And he is through past the Ferrari. Good overtake indeed then. Still stuck behind Wilson though. Now Wilson in 13th position. Then Cameron Racer is up into 12th then. So he's having a very quiet but solid race, isn't he? These two no goodness gracious me, and a good old scrap here. Steve is still behind Sean Hammers, and now Gordo is is basically less than 2 seconds back from Steve as well. So Gordo is also being brought into play as well. Sean Hammers is extending the stint. He is going to be on the soft tyres at the end of this race. But where is that going to pull him? Where is that going to put Troy as well? I think Troy has got enough now to stay out until the end of the race. Cameron Reeser has got a 3-second penalty there. Potato's got past Dylan, as Dylan dropping down into 16th position as well. He's also got a penalty for his troubles as well. As Troy is now just coming for the traffic in the background, and he's still pulling away from Hammers. He's up to 23 seconds. Bradfield is back in the pits there, and he is on the medium tyres. Bradfield is, and he's dropped from 11th now, and I think he's going to drop down an awful long way in this race then, isn't it? It's a very brutal race, this one, isn't it? Where dreams could be broken in an instant, can't they? And unfortunately Bradfield, another driver who's had an absolutely the ultimate high of qualifying to the ultimate low in the race at the moment, he has dropped right down into 18th in this race then, and what a shame. Back on board Baz at the moment, and he could be on for a huge haul of points in the AlphaTauri. Magnificent race for Baz then. He's just sat back at the moment now, just watching what Billett, Curly and Welshman Nodder's doing. Welsh Maldonado and Curly, I think, are going to have to come back in the pits there, but I think they're going to do the similar strategy to what Hammers and Troy are doing, as they are still on the medium tires at the moment, and I think they'll be going to the soft tires very soon then, but I think that they watched last night's race and definitely is definitely thinking about the tires. And talking of which, Maldonado is in the pits, and she is now going to go on to the soft tires, I surmise them, but I have been wrong before. I am probably wrong on this instance as well. Bullet is having a look then, but Bullet shouldn't be taking any chances here, because he is in a very strong position in the race, isn't he? A very strong position indeed. Then Welsh Maldonado coming back out of the pits now. Is she going to get in front of Wilson? Wilson, Mushroom and New Potato, and she's coming out of the pits now. I think she's done it. There she is, and here's Wilson cannoning down into, oh goodness me, and then just as I was looking at it's up debris, as Maldonado damaged the car. I just seen a bit of debris on the pit exit there. No, it's okay for the Renault driver. So there's debris on the pit exit there. Someone is gone into the Armco there, and it's not going to be very happy about that whatsoever, are they? Look at this free car train at the moment, and a great run at the moment there. Serious Mushroom there, and New Potato, and two drivers there, as Sean Hammers in the pits, and now Steve can try and make up the ground he has lost. And look at Gordo, he is having a magnificent race, isn't he? In a brilliant race there, and Gordo is in third position there. Absolutely fantastic stuff indeed then for Gordo, and keeping he does have a 6-second penalty though. Sean Hammers coming out of the pits now. There's a good old gap between Nigel and Curly then. So Sean Hammers now is coming the pits then. He doesn't. I think he's just taking it a bit cautious here, isn't he? Sean Hammers is then, because he's not racing anyone now, is he? In terms of undercuts or anything like that. But he might be able to sneak in front of Nigel, as Nigel's tires are not going to be too hot property, are they? Curly coming out of the pits as well on the soft tires. Bullet is now up to a very strong, as what is going on here. Serious Mushroom, and there's yellow flags in Serious Mushroom's facility, and goodness gracious me, Troy is still in this queue at the moment, and so Welsh Maldonado now in the 10th position there. Curly in the 11th, Wilson in 12th position as well. But look at this, so I'm surprised that Troy has not to come. Oh, and he comes into the pits now. The race here is in the pits. He has quite a nice buffer as well, because Steve is still coming into the swimming pool section as well. Troy then is I got to say, another incredible race there from Spain to Monaco, and this will be his 4th Grand Prix win then, with 11 laps to go in the Monaco Grand Prix. He's going to take the lead in the World Championship if he can stay there. And look, Maldonado's got past. Oh, and Cameron's gone. He's had some issues in the tunnel, and Welsh Maldonado is past and up into 9th position then. And this is some crucial points for Maldonado. Having a good race, I think, in the Renault there, but I think Camera Racer is going to be robbed, I think, of what has been an absolutely grueling race here for the Williams team, and I think he did a good job, hasn't he, to keep him to get himself into a points contention here. But unfortunately, with just 10 laps to go, it's not going to be happening, is it? So Curly is now going to be powered into 10th position in the McLaren, and I feel there's going to be some very hard luck stories at the end of this one, isn't there? And look at this though, is that New Potato is underneath the rear wing, and these are the soft tires. This is the soft tire right side. New Potato up the inside, passes Wilson, and now he has got Curly in front of him, but Curly and Maldonado are both on the fresh soft tires as well, so it's going to be a bit more difficult. Baz is now pushing Bullet on. Bullet is going to have to do another 10 laps, 24 laps on those medium tires, so they're going to be worse for wear. Same with Nigel's tires as well. So it's going to get very interesting, I think, at the end of this race as well. So there's going to be Bullet and Nigel going to have to be babysitting those medium tires to the end of this race then. Just Baz has got a 3-second penalty. Steve, unfortunately, had tried the undercut, hasn't worked out to his advantage, has it? But now he's starting to pull away from Gordo, and Gordo is going to be looking at TK. Them two are battling for the race leader on this race. This race is transforming around, unfortunately, as they had damage early on this race, which has really cost them, hasn't it? Potentially a race win then. Cart, as we're on board with Bradford, Carboy has the race in his hand. Carboy saying Troy has the race in his hand, said can go for fast laps rather than, so Troy then could have the full 26 allocation points down. I've got to say, absolutely magnificent there. In qualifying there, he seems to be on the edge of the limit and beyond, but today in the race then he has been absolutely as cool as a cucumber, hasn't he? Magnificent. Bradfield's got more damage. Diashi in 14th position there. Potato's got a 3-second penalty as well, as he is trying to put the pressure on then on board. Serious Mushroom is trying to put the pressure on Wilson as well in 12th and 13th position there. The top 10 gets points in this race. No retirements in the Monaco Grand Prix. Magnificent from Silver. Yes, it's been a brutal race there. Of course, I think a lot of drivers there is Troy gets a fast up the race. A lot of drivers are going to be very frustrated at the end of this one. This is a race that a lot of them will be happy to see the back end of. But I think the hats off for him for sticking into this one. Good stuff indeed there. TK is dropping back now. Gordo has got the bit between his teeth, and of course he does have a 6-second penalty, so he needs another 3 seconds there. No, he isn't, because actually TK has got 3 seconds as well, so he has potentially got back into third position here. Gordo has a magnificent performance here from Gordo tonight. Really good stuff indeed. So Serious Mushroom has got past Wilson. Yes, he has. And up into 12th position and so good driving indeed there from Serious Mushroom. Wilson dropping down into 13th position. He's starting to go backwards now, isn't he, in this race? Wilson is back on board Bazen, who is now just going to be mirroring what oh goodness me, Sean Hammers there is almost pushing Nigel and Fruity Hairpin, and look in the foreground, that's TK. Has TK got damage there, or is he just cruising at the moment? Just watching the Mercedes car going through the tunnel a bit gingerly, but he has got all his pieces in the right direction. But he's I think he's probably just having a bit of a lull here at the moment. He does I think he's just trying to curb the enthusiasm of the ears then perhaps, and so he's just trying to back off slightly. And look at this then, it's Sean Hammers there's all over the back now, and Nigel has done a lot of laps then on those hard tires, and he's going to be going still a long way. He's got another 7-8 laps to go in this race, so so I think that Nigel could be there for the taking, but having said that, pass is one thing. Cass is one thing. Pass is crying over. Sean Hammers there is deploying, but look at this, and it's Lionel Stern then as the Mercedes on the Ferrari. Oh, contact going into the oh goodness me, and Wallet is there, damage there, and yes, Sean Hammers has damage. Has Nigel got damage as well? He's okay, but Sean Hammers isn't. He has a 15-second buffer as well, and I think that Sean Hammers there is oh dear, he's going to have to really look after the car now, isn't he, because there's a 13-second deficit between himself and Billa, who is in 7th position at the moment. This is a day for the midfield runners there to really get some major points, isn't it? The likes of Billa and Baz and Gordo, of course. A magnificent performance here tonight from Gordo, magnificent indeed. Potato just outside the points in 10th, in 11th position, on a Curly in 10th, Welshman Nado in 9th. Sorry, just getting the hair on Morris. So just watching now Gordo, who is less than 5 tenths of a second behind Steve. Goodness me, Steve is really strong at this stage of proceedings. So once again, Gordo is in the sweet spot in this Monaco Grand Prix. He's having the driver's life, isn't he? And I gotta say, I think that Gordo's been my star qualified, and he's going to be my star of the race as well. He's magnificent, isn't he? Gordo is absolutely good stuff indeed. Troy's been brilliant, hasn't he, today? That's why he's just been a cut above the rest. He's in a different league at the moment. Troy's at the moment. He's in such a sweet spot in terms of his driving performances, in terms of his driving pedigree. But today, I think the Driver of the Day award will be going to Gordo for a magnificent performance there. All round then, from qualifying right on then, he has been on the bubble, on the mark. He has been magnificent. Him and Billa have been really good in the Haas cars. And Billa there, who's been also practicing as well. Great stuff indeed there for all those, for those two cars then. So really good stuff indeed. Whatever happens now, Gordo, you've been magnificent. Into the pits comes Potato again then, and Potato is on a bit of a nightmare race now. I think this frustration coming to the fore, isn't it, for the former bronze world champion then, as he is in the pits once again. I think that's going to be his last set of soft tyres, to be honest, for New Potatoes then, as he has gone through all of them, hasn't he? Camera also in the pits as well for the Williams team then, and Ayrton is now coming to the back of Smithy indeed then. But look at this battle for second and third position. We've also got Baz and Billa, who are still quite close together as well. We have got Bradfield and Wilson also in the mix, and we're going to keep an eye on this battle then as we go into Sandoval then. In terms of penalties, Gordo has a 9-second penalty. Goodness me, I didn't even think about that. I thought you only had 6 seconds. There has a 9-second penalty. Gordo does, and those penalties might hurt him today, but he's still on a magnificent race, isn't he? But I feel that that could cost him a valuable later on this race. He might need to get by Steve a bit quicker than that. There's a lot of 9-second penalty. There's all 3-second penalties as well. 3 seconds for TK. No penalties for Nigel or Sean Hammers. That could I could propel Nigel back on the podium, perhaps, and the other podium in Spain. No penalties for Believer. Fantastic stuff indeed. Then 3 seconds for Baz, 6 seconds for Welsh, Maldonado, 3 seconds for Curly, Nerves, 3 seconds for Serious Mushroom and Wilson. Bradfield on 6 seconds, 9 seconds for D. Ashley as well, 9 seconds for Dylan, and 6 seconds for New Potato, 3 seconds then for Camera Racer and for Ayrton as well. In terms of the stops tonight, then we have had Steve's got a penalty as well to add to Steve's got a penalty as well now. Oh goodness me, and the penalties starting to rack up. Turns to pit stops tonight, then we have had 4 pit stops for New Potato, and as unfortunately he's had a bit of a miserable race today, hasn't he? New Potato, he's quick. Unfortunately, he's a bit too quick at times, isn't he? And we're coming into the twilight of this Monaco Grand Prix, and now then it's oh gosh, so now we're going into Sandbot again. Let's take stock. We're on a 35 out of 39 and Troy leads the Grand Prix by almost half a minute. Absolutely spectacular stuff as it Troy is today, and he is going for his 4th Grand Prix win of the season and of his career as well. Him and Gamer in their silver careers both have 4 apiece now. It is going to be an almighty season-long battle between Gamer and Gamer and Troy. Magnificent stuff indeed there. Steve is second at the moment. We got 3rd position is Gordo. He has a 9-second penalty with TK in 4th position. He was on pole position for the first time in his career tonight. He at the moment he's in 4th position, maybe getting his first podium perhaps, but he's got a lot of work to do. Nigel in 5th position. He's done 23 laps on those tyres. Nigel, as I said, he has no penalties, but he's going to start falling back. Sean Hammers is limping home with a broken front wing, but it has no penalties. He's done magnificently well on the medium tyres in 7th position there. Baz in 8th position, Welsh Maldonado in 9th, and in 10th position is Curly Monte. That's the 2 we're looking at now. Serious Mushroom is in 11th position, and Wilson 12th, and Bradfield is very close then to his teammate. Well, oh no, and they've come together! Oh goodness me! And right in the middle of the circuit, and Bradfield and Wilson, they was very close, and now they got a virtual safety car. And oh goodness me then, and Burning Perez came to blows there, didn't they? Did 2014 around there on the opening lap. Then that's our first retirement of the race as Bradfield out of the Grand Prix, and I think that's our first major incident of this race as well. Oh dear, that's a big blow indeed, isn't it? For that's a big blow indeed, then, isn't it? For the Bradfield is into the pits comes Baz, and he's trying to strike across the orange hot. Then he's changing the nose cone as well. Baz is a drive-through penalty for Smithy as he was speeding under the virtual safety car. So he was trying to time it. Unfortunately, though, he's got a drive-through penalty for trying that. And now Baz is coming out of the pits as well, but he's dropped out the points then with that late pit stop there, and that's Papa with Serious Mushroom to a very solid 10th position now then, and he could be getting driver of the day. And look, Gordo's through. He's passed, and that's a Ferrari skated off it, and TK is spinning the wrong way round. What is going on here? He's damaged the car as well. Oh goodness me! And yes, this is something's gone majorly wrong down there, and Gordo is gone off into 2nd position now, and Steve there, and look at this, that's when the Ferraris are vintage there, and look at this, and Nigel, oh no, what's going on here? Oh goodness me, oh dear, and Steve and Nigel is straddling each other there. That's not good, is it? That's not PG. And Nigel is out of the pits. Out comes Wilson as well after damaging the whole of the nose section, and Steve is struggling. Has he got damage? And let's take a look then. Is Steve damaged? He's got a huge amount of damage in the and look, Nigel's all over the back of him. Nigel's over the front position. Steve has left the session there. And what is going on there? Steve has got damage. He's left the session as well. Oh no, Steve is on the course for a major 2nd position, and all of a sudden it's gone anarchy in Monaco just in the final couple of laps here. Oh goodness gracious me. Oh gosh, sir. And Gio's gone, oh no, and Cryptically, oh god, I hate it. I hate to be in that party chat then. As Wilson said, a SC glitch. Gurman has found quite entertaining, hasn't he? Well, goodness me, and Steve is out. Steve needs to get back in the session pronto if he wants these points, and this is going to be major blows indeed. We've got yellow flags, which against that's another Red Bull point. That's the other Red Bull point in the wrong way as well. Wilson, Sean Hammers is limping home in the Mercedes, but he's going to get past Steve as well. And with just 2 laps to go, then as you got Troy, and there's a lot of ghosts out there, isn't it? Goodness me, it feels like a Mario game. Nigel's had some problems as well. What is going on in the final racing. These drivers push these tyres too far to the limit. And now we got Sean Hammerson. Steve is in the pits and the ghost car is in the pits. Steve's incredible race is coming to a screeching halt here tonight with 2 laps to go. Oh no, and Steve is going to be absolutely devastated. Welsh Otto is up into 8th position now. Steve is coming out of the pits, and as we have got Serious Mushroom, then who is about half a minute back as well. Steve needs to get into the session pronto if he wants to maintain these points then, because he does have a bit of time over. Just a bit of time over Serious Mushroom, but just to say that Baz is flying on the soft tyres, and they're seeing that there's a ghostly Steve limp him home, and these two drivers, Steve is just going to drop out the points there with just less than a lap to go. What an absolute shame there! What heartbreak there for Steve. Oh goodness me! And at the moment, Gordo is flicking on and flicking off in terms of being on and off the podium. Then this is going to get very interesting indeed. Then, and Nigel is really struggling on the medium tyres now. 26 laps on those medium tyres. Biller is doing a good job on the medium tyres as well. 23 laps, great stuff indeed. And so we have so remember, Gordo does have penalties as well. Nigel's dropping down. It's Nigel left the session as well. I think he's still in it, but he's got no tyres. I don't think Nigel's got no tyres left on that Ferrari, and he is dropping down the order as well. He's dropping down like a stone. New Potato's got past Serious Mushroom as well. Oh goodness gracious me then. Absolute anarchy in the final stage of the Monaco Grand Prix. And would you have it any other way then? Crypticali won't overtake. If you can't get past them, just go through them. Gio said that Troy dominates. It really is indeed, isn't it? He is going for his 4th Grand Prix win this season, his 4th Grand Prix of his career as well. And Troy comes out of the final corner, almost half a minute in front of the 2nd place car. Troy wins the Monaco Grand Prix. Magnificent from Troy. Since he got in the lead there, was it really in any... Oh, and that's a racing point of going off Diashi's facing the wrong way. Look, here comes Gordo as well. And Gordo is got an 8-second buffer over himself in TK. He's done enough. I think Gordo's done enough for a podium here. His first podium of his career in ALR, and as he is coming into Raskas as well then. And now into anti-notes, and for the 39th and final time, Serious has got a 3-second penalty. Gordo is going to finish at a magnificent 2nd position. Oh, brilliant. The Pulse here, TK, also on the podium for the first time as well. Magnificent stuff in for TK as well. So there's going to be some very happy campers. Nigel is trailing home in 4th position. Some major problems for Nigel. Sean Hammers in 5th, and he could have been a bit higher if he did damage his car. And look at Biller. He is in 6th position as well. Brilliant for Biller. We got Curly and Washman now 7th and 8th. And Baz in 9th position. Steve is dropped down into 10th position. Now, he might get points, and we'll see what happens there. We'll see if he had disconnection issues or not then. And if he does, and he might be able to get that point, but I don't think it's going to make... not going to make him too happy, is it? And of course, we only had one retirement, which was Bradfield, and when Bradfield and Wilson came to blows, then going down into the hairpin. As Sam is saying, come on Gordo, get that 9-second gap then. Wilson, I'm sorry, Dylan lagged all over in front then. We have also got Gordo saying, phew, that was nerve-wracking. Oh, indeed it was. Indeed it was. For everyone in the chat, and also for Head Gordo in the car as well. And we've got the go. Troy on top of the podium. His 4th time as well. He's getting used to that Schumacher-esque leap now, ain't we? 4th Grand Prix win of his career and of the season. And he takes the lead in the World Championship. Fantastic stuff there from Troy. Magnificent. And from start, basically when he got in front then, could anyone stop Troy? I didn't think so. And that proved to be the case, didn't it? Brilliant stuff indeed. Gordo in 2nd position there. In 3rd position was TK as well. Two of the 3 drivers on the podium. That's the first time they've been on the podium in ALR. Fantastic stuff indeed then. Let's take a final look at the classification then from the Monaco Grand Prix. Troy won from the 2nd row of the grid today. Also got fast up as well. Max points there. Gordo, his best performance of ALR and of his career as well. 2nd position today. Magnificent. TK in 3rd position. Hats off to TK. He's really a special driver, isn't he? One for the future, I feel. Nigel in 4th then. Tarish just went away from in the end. Sean Hammers a great driver in 5th. Billy in 6th position. Magnificent. Washman on the 7th with Curly in 8th. Baz in 9th then. Steve provisionally in 10th position. Outside the points is Mushroom, New Potato, Vintage, Camera Racer, Ayrton, Diashi, Smithy, Wilson, and Dylan. Only retirement was Bradfield. That is a magnificent effort in the Monaco Grand Prix. Really good stuff indeed then. There's a puncture for Nigel, which is why he fell off the podium. Now that was unfortunate there for Nigel. And Vintage saying, great race, lads and lasses. Let's go to Troy, who is actually in the podium with me now. Troy, well, I got to say that was very much Senna-esque in that race. You were quite scary at times there. You were just wandering away from everyone. Didn't look as easy as in the cockpit as it was out from when we was looking at you.
No, definitely not. It was very difficult, man. I had to keep concentration throughout all the laps, really. And yeah, as you said, it was. I had the first. I had some difficult couple of first laps, but yeah, when I got ahead and was first, I really felt that I was like in my own element, and that the pressure really wasn't as big as it was before.
Indeed, and I've also got to say as well, talking about qualifying first, so before we get back into the race, did you struggle in qualifying? Because it seemed like you had a couple of laps invalidated there. You were struggling to get that perfect lap in.
Yeah, definitely. I had a very disappointing qualifying, and yeah, I was gutted that I couldn't get the pole around here either, which would have made it a bit easier maybe. Yeah, I was just worried. I really wanted to get that perfect lap in, so I wasn't really thinking of any banker laps. And yeah, the rest of the guys, they really punished me when I couldn't get pole. I missed out by a couple of tenths, and that's what happens if you don't get that perfect lap in.
And then just going back to the race as well, it looks like you just kept your cool in the first stint. You started on the second row of the grid there, and you was just, it looked like at the beginning there, Gordo and TK were just pulling away then. And was you concerned that they was stretching out too much of a lead then, or was you just happy with what you were doing in second position, what you're doing in fourth?
Yeah, I was a bit worried, but then I also felt there was nothing really I could do. I just had to wait for the right opportunity to overtake Bradfield. And yeah, as soon as I overtook him, I catched up to them quite quickly in a couple of laps, really, and then I was just sticking behind them until both of them decided to box.
And then from then on, really, you had the race in the palm of your hand, as one person said in the chat today. 33 seconds in front of second place. That was absolutely domination there.
Yeah, I think I did. I did the best I could, really, and yeah, I think strategy-wise it was perfect. the restart. I was a bit skeptic towards my strategy at first. Emerson recommended it, and yeah, as soon as we had fresh tires from the get-go, I really pushed forward and tried to make this strategy work, and it really did.
Magnificent stuff. And just touch on the championship. You're now leading the championship for the first time this season. And how is your mindset going forward, going into Baku in a week's time?
Yeah, this is not really the way I wanted to take the lead of the championship. Obviously, I wanted Gamer to race as well. It just feels much better to in that way. But yeah, I'm just gonna push as much as possible and try to defend this lead I have now over Gamer.
Cracking stuff. Well done, Troy. Brilliant day today. Absolutely dominating performance. Let's come to Gamer's Super Sub tonight. I think TK is in the chat with us. TK, your first pole position there. You absolutely pulled out of the bag there. A magnificent lap in qualifying.
Thanks, man. As I said in the YouTube thing, that was like the perfect lap. Like I'm going to go over it, but I definitely know a couple spots where I missed time, but I definitely thought Troy was going to get pole. But overall, I was very happy to get it.
Really was indeed. It was an absolutely fantastic qualifying. Goodness me, you guys kept going quicker and quicker. Going to the race as well, you and Gordo had a bit of a ding-dong in the first opening laps there. You and Gordo was very much running away with it to begin with. Unfortunately, it looked like you got wing damage. Where did you get the wing damage?
Right at chicane at the end, beginning of Sector 3. I was just trying to maintain and not push so hard, and just me being careful ended up costing me wing damage. I tried to stay out as long as I could, but I knew I was holding Gordo and Troy up, so I just figured I'd pit and let him go.
So that always seems to be the case, isn't it? Where you just decide to drop it down to 90%, and then you seem to lose the rear, kind of thing. But your first podium today, of course, you was very unlucky in Spain, but you showed brilliance in the Dutch Grand Prix. Now you got your first podium as well. You're a star in the making.
I hope it's the beginning of a full-time seat. Honestly, like, I like racing here. Obviously, I race with Troy on Fridays and Sundays, so I'd like to be full-time Mondays as well.
Oh, full schedule there indeed. Well done, TK, on your first podium. And I think you'll be speaking to me a lot more. Unfortunately for you, anyway. Well done indeed then on your first podium. Well done. Now let's come to Serious Mushroom then, who, I got to say, Serious Mushroom, I think you got dry today then after starting at the back of the field then on the alternative strategy. And it seems to be a very difficult day out there, but you made the most of that. Good job.
I don't know why I've got the drive of the day, because that's a bit ridiculous for me, to be honest. Broke my wing so many times and cost myself quite a few places. So I've been held up and all, but you know, it's nature of the track, isn't it? So.
It is. You said in the chat there that you didn't feel that you came out of the pits there, did a lap, and then it seems like you just didn't want to qualify in Monaco. You wanted to be at the back of the field. What was your thinking behind that? Was it the worry about being in the carbon fibre zone at the midfield?
No, I don't like the place. Even when I'm playing the game on my own, like offline, I skip it. I hate the place. I don't really do time trial or anything, so just how it is. It's not really a track for me, but you can do, don't you?
Anyway, you did 39 laps today, which I got to say is definitely no easy feat. But overall today then, now this Monaco Grand Prix out the way for you, sounds like that you're now looking on to bigger and brighter things than going into Baku in a week's time. How are you feeling for round 8?
Yeah, I like Baku. I want to push forward now. I want to get some good points for Williams. We're lacking points at the minute, so that's me aim, I suppose. I just want to finish pretty high up in the season.
Good stuff indeed. Of course, you finished third last season, so hopefully the sky's the limit. Well indeed, Serious Mushroom, and well done to everyone else then who is on the roster tonight. Brilliant stuff indeed. That is it for a Monaco leg. Goodness me, that was a brutal one, wasn't it? Silver, only one retirement tonight then. I've got to say, I tip my toupee off to you guys. Fantastic stuff indeed then. We go to Azerbaijan next week then. I think it's the City of Fire. I think anyway. I have Googled it this time. I know it's City of Fire. We'll see you next week, Sunday, 7:30. Gold. Goodbye.
Troy?